What is going on, you guys? It is Dollar Cost Crypto here with the worldwide Hex Tour, baby, from the 831 to the 304. I am joined today by the pirate himself, RG3. What's up, man?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
The applause. Like,
you know, where's the applause light? Where is it?
There's no applause light.
We don't have.
wow.
Do you want the? Do you want to? I'll install it.
Game, man.
It's only $400,000. Do you guys got any of that? We accept Bitcoin.
We don't have.
We don't have any.
We have the corn.
Yeah, you don't have any coin.
We don't have corn.
Oh, Bitcoin.
We don't have the Bitcoin.
You know, we're rich in Hexico. Yeah.
Hexicans, baby.
So what's up, man? What's going on, dude?
Dude, man, just glad to be out here again. Come hang out with you in this beautiful freaking studio. This is awesome.
Hey, thanks.
But yeah, just got done touring Seidel, Mississippi. Of all places.
Seidel, Mississippi.
Mississippi, man. So, and trust me, there's
I swear, it's like you're telling me like I was in Dinosaur, Colorado.
No, bro, no. and guys like us from California, we say something like that. We're like, I never even heard of that place, right?
Yeah.
But I get there. It's just like it's down the street from New Orleans.
Got it.
So it's like a over the border Louisiana Mississippi meet. It's right there. You just jump over like what is it, Pontchartrain or whatever.
Pontchartrain.
I know, man. And then of course it's but the people that I were with are just they're the best. They're really good people. Lots of money out there, believe it or not. We think these Midwest places. No, these guys were all folks with money, understand money, investor class folks. And we had a real good onboard session. So we're gonna start taking the whole show on the road, man. We're gonna go take the DeFi show on the road and start talking to people about real DeFi.
So yeah, you're pretty much. I mean, the reason I call it the Hex Pulsechain World Tour is that like you're going from like are you focusing on state, or are you focusing more on major cities, or like what are you focusing on in terms of like traveling around?
Well, so what we want to do is get to where the people are congregating. So we're going to put it out there to the Hexicans. Hey, who wants to do an event? Who can put together an event?
Right.
And then we'll look at the numbers and see how many people can show up, how many people we can touch. And it's really about onboarding. Right. So, introduce them to, crypto from the beginning. I'll just go in there, tell them who I am, how I got involved, take crypto from the beginning, go through the Bitcoin go through the Ethereum,
Yeah,
and then go
the
into
history of it, the history a little
the
bit.
history of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then and then get into what's the next iteration of crypto. First, Bitcoin, proofed that the double spend can be fixed.
Yep.
Proof that we can have a transaction outside the banking system, peer to peer, over the internet securely, and it did that for us.
Yeah.
Failed in just about everything else crypto should do, but it yeah, the maxis are going to come for you, bro.
Yeah, be careful.
Who is that guy? But you know what? I've had it with the Bitcoiners and the maxis, and I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'm not going to apologize anymore. The
Bitcoiners got punched in the face recently a little bit with the whole mining situation.
Well, it's
just
going to get worse.
Yeah.
Mining is useless. It's useless. All of that value, all of that money that goes into mining for the equipment, for the power, electricity, everything. Okay, imagine if we could put that money into the system.
Buying power.
Yeah. Right? It's just dead.
That's why Ethereum recently, when they went over to Ethereum 2.0, now that we don't have do you know how much Ethereum hasn't been dumped on the market? There's been over $1 billion of Ethereum that hasn't been dumped on the market from switching 2% of the total supply of Ethereum has not been emitted. So that means we have saved $1 billion in selling pressure on Ethereum. What do you think Ethereum's done so well?
Yeah.
Like
because it's built better.
Because it's built better, and the tokenomics have changed on it and stuff. And people laugh. If we had Kool-Aid here in the corner, we don't. But Kool-Aid would be like the game. The game or the I don't know what you would call it, like sort of the tokenomics or like sort of the gamification of things and stuff. A lot of people don't think that matters, but it does. It
does.
People want to know the set rules.
Yes.
Yeah. If the set rules are good, then you're gonna have a good game.
And the only way to set those rules are to have an immutable contract.
Yes.
You have to have that immutable contract. Now, Bitcoin doesn't offer that.
Yeah.
And of course they're saying, oh, we're going to try and do that. Every time somebody says we're going to come up with something to fix Bitcoin, all I think of is the Rube Goldberg machine.
Right.
It's like, let's make the Betamax stream video, right? Yeah. And that's always been my take is like, Bitcoin was the Betamax, and here we are today in DeFi, and we're streaming audio and video now. And so why try and take the thing that doesn't work and say, no, we can fix it. We can fix it.
Right.
It's not. It's like we're leaving you behind. We've already created streaming video. Why would we go back to that? Why would we go back to old technology and try and put a Band-Aid on it or create some kind of Rube Goldberg machine? That's stupid. Nobody does that in tech. When something dies, when something's old, when something's dilapidated, we move on.
Yeah.
We move on. And that's what we should have done with Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's broken.
Yeah.
Ethereum doesn't scale. Ethereum has its problems. It created a great programming language with Solidity. But other than that, it's garbage too. And I'm not going to apologize for saying that about Ethereum anymore. Ethereum has the ability to fix itself and compete with all the rest of the chains. But it's not there now. So what's going to be there now next? What's next to be there now? And that's where the Hex ecosystem comes in, and Richard's products and Pulsechain and Pulsex and True DeFi, because it is True DeFi. Once we have Pulsechain, we will be completely True DeFi.
Definitely, man. And hit the like button, you guys. If you don't hit the like button, Hex is going to crash to 4 cents.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hit the like button.
3 cents. 3 cents.
3 cents, man. But, yeah, dude, you want to know some bullshit that just happened? You hear Biden with this bullshit he's saying? He's saying he's trying to raise long-term capital gains to 40%.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Just today. Go look it up. It's on Twitter right now. Crazy, dudes. Like, it's kind of funny. It's like, I'm getting old. I'm getting to the point now. Like,
bro, that'll never happen.
What?
They will not raise.
I know. It's not, but
there is no way.
But just to you know what it is? It's a tactic to 40 to increase it a little bit, like because they'll meet.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're either play a lawyer game. It's like we're going to ask for $100 million and we'll get 10.
Yeah.
and something like that might happen.
That's horrible, dude. That is such an overreach. It's so insane. And then too, it's hurting their pockets as well because that's where they make a lot of money as well. But like. I mean, how come I don't hear any laws about trusts or and
the thing is that the president doesn't have any say so. Biden can't just do it. He can't executive order make that happen. So he's going to have to find enough people and let's look, whether it's his side or the other side of the legislators over there.
Right.
there ain't none of them willing to go to 40% on long-term capital. I'll guarantee you, they will be raked over the coals and primaried. Every single one of them will be primaried if they try to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because there's way too much money out there that depends on that long-term capital gains tax rate to survive and thrive. And I just don't see that happening. They talk and say FUD stuff all the time, but a lot of this stuff never happens. But we'll have to keep an eye on it because I definitely got to read an article on that one.
Yeah, it's a little insane stuff. And then Silvergate's unwinding right now as well.
Wow.
That was the bank. I'll shout out to them though. Originally, like they were like the first bank to really step out and say we will accept your deposits and we will try. Coinbase, every major exchange in the United States was banking with them.
Yep.
And this just is. I think as of this morning, Kraken just announced that they're going to start their own crypto bank.
Yeah, and they should have a long time ago.
Time ago.
Kraken's, they should have been making a bank a long time ago. But good for them.
Yeah, we're getting moves right now and stuff like that, but it's just crazy. Like this whole space. It's kind of this. They're throwing shit right now while they can, but around September, it's all going to disappear because in September we start getting the election cycle. That's what's going to start happening.
The whole narrative changes at that point. Then everybody's jockeying for position,
Right, because got
to say the right thing. You can't say the wrong thing at that time.
Right, because nor left or right can say anything because they don't want to mess up their
look what happened this last time. So the last election cycle,
right.
It was all the talk was about crypto, and then all of a sudden, right when it became time for the campaigning, they shut up. It was just dead silent. And even when I went to DC right around that time, there was just nobody wanted to talk. Nobody wanted to hear about DeFi. Nobody wanted to, talk about what they were lobbying about. And it was all about the exchanges. It was they kind of like left it alone, and they shouldn't have because that was when everything was going down with FTX.
Yeah.
And now we see where that ended up going.
Well, if you guys haven't seen it, go on my channel and go look for FTX sex scandal. I got a whole stream with Rollo Tomasi. Age restricted. It was so insane. Like Imperial. What was it? Imperial. Oh my god! It's been such a minute. It's like Imperial sex dungeon or like it was basically like the chick like what's his name's what's called Sam's girl whatever was basically saying that she likes to get railed and tries to get into a relationship.
Oh my god!
Like so disgusting because I saw all these other things before. Like as soon as it really started getting big, all the things she said disappeared off the internet. It got scrubbed.
Wow.
So
I've heard nothing. They've said nothing about her.
Oh,
I think she's cooperating, is what it is.
Yeah,
so.
She rolled on.
She rolled.
She rolled.
So they're like protecting her now because she's probably mortified because her face was everywhere,
bro. Like, and then she looked busted as fuck too. I busted and like, bro, like it's like to be worth $70 billion, $100 billion, and to be like that's your piece. Damn. Yeah, and it's so crazy too because if you guys haven't seen it, we break it down. Me, Charlie, and Rollo Tomasi are on that right there, right? Because we wanted to get every single angle of it. And at one point in the stream, I had to stop doing the stream. Like we stopped because we started getting into a fit. Like we just kept going lower and lower. Like the family was so well connected with each other. They're basically how can I say this? High elves. I'll say dark elves. There we go. I'll say dark elves. Dark elves. That's as far. I ain't gonna say. You ain't gonna catch me lacking. But they're dark elves, and basically it looked to me like it was basically a setup marriage or setup relationship between them and both families. Like imagine Sam and his girl. Sam ended up interning with the father-in-law, and then the girl same thing with the mother-in-law. They traded them to the other side of the family, and they were pretty much working with the other family for a while. And then eventually, once they split, they not split up, but they eventually got out of that and went to work on FTX. The first thing he did was set her as like the main person for Alameda Research, the head of the hedge fund side, and then while he was the head of the
laundering side,
the laundering side, and then his second in command, Sam. There's another Sam Trabuto. Sam Trabuto ended up being the one that I personally, the way it's looking like, he's actually was the one actually doing all the stuff in the background. He's the one that left 2 months before the whole thing imploded. He left. So watch this. So they did some. I forgot. It was like $50 million to like $100 million for the Democrats. They did an equal amount for the Republicans.
Yeah, but they did dark money.
Yeah,
they hid it. They ran it through super PACs and dark money, so they couldn't trace it back. But the thing is that all the ones that were standing there with the drawers around their ankles started giving the money back.
Yeah.
They started sending it to charities and, oh, no, I don't want this dirty blood money. And they should have gave it back to the people they got stolen from.
Right.
But they leveraged it to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
So the people that were on the hook, the Democrat side, they started like publicly giving the money away and trying to make themselves look good with other people. They were giving other people's money away. They knew they had it.
Yeah.
It's just, and then I guess all the dark money, those people kept it.
Well, then Sam started doing a bunch of, he started sending snail mail to like all these people to give the money back. And then it leaked out that he was like asking, give the money back. Boy,
that's like witness tampering, bro.
Yeah.
That adds years to, already this kid is facing so much time. Like, when you see the guy, I don't know why he's not in tears all the time. Look at our guy that, what was his name? Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff died in prison because of all the years he got for what he did.
Yeah.
And this makes Bernie Madoff look like he freaking robbed a lemon. These guys robbed a lemonade stand.
And come to find out, I didn't even know this about the whole Bernie Madoff thing. He's still like, how the whole thing imploded and it all went to shit. He still gave 60% of the money back.
They dug it up, and of course they forced it back.
They forced it back and stuff, but it was still, imagine that shit. All that shit happened, and all they lost was 40%. And this one was just like so much crazier. I mean, it was just so. And then on top of that, like I've said this before so many times, but like Sam's dad was, so in 2008 when the hedge funds and everything went down and stuff, Sam's dad was the head of the committee that put the laws in place for the hedge funds at the time.
In here or in the Caribbean?
Here.
Okay.
Here in the United States, he was the head of the committee. Basically, he was like passing judgments, and then basically saying, "This is the new framework we're going to put for hedge funds." Where it basically, it was basically him and this other guy were basically the ones in charge to essentially stop the banks from being basically you had to decide whether you were going to be a bank or an investment, basically a hedge fund bank, an investment bank. So most banks converted from an investment bank back to a regular bank. J.P. Morgan, all these banks were basically investment banks, and now they're just banks. And now they just buy a secondary arm to be the actual hedge fund. Is what's going on now. But it's pretty insane. Oh, look, Nagaboo. No way, bro. Nagaboo.
Hey, man, Naga. Hope you're doing good, my man. Naga had some health issues.
Yeah, he was doing some surgeries and stuff. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. But he's like, love and peace. Good to see y'all still grinding in this bear market. Nagaboo.
Grinding, man. We're the only ones left. We never went anywhere.
Yep. Last one's
here,
man.
The old pirate still sticking around, still throwing in the maxi faces of what we're doing here. Not going to quit, not going to slow down. We're going to keep going. And then when the bull market comes in, it's okay. Come on out, guys. Come on out. It's safe. The fight's over. You can come out.
Are you sure?
It's like you get in the neighborhood fight. This street against that street, and then there's always those kids or two that'll go hide in the house. And he was like, "Where is he at, man? Where'd he go?" It's like, "Come out." Wayne. We had this kid named Wayne.
Wayne.
Anyway.
Hey, shout out to AMCC. If every RC20 with a $10 super chat, if every RC20 token will get copied onto Pulsechain, which Pulsechain versions are worth paying attention to? Surely some copies will pump on the Pulsechain side outside of RH tokens that no one's watching. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think there's gonna be two things happening here. I think that there's gonna be support from the system itself or the entity itself.
Yeah.
The project developers or themselves that are going to come in and try and provide stability and try and make that the Pulse version popular or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think that there's just going to be investors that are going to want to do that. They're going to want to come over, provide liquidity, take their two pairs that they have and go try and see and make their way on Pulsex. So I think it'll be kind of like two little systems going on here. And then, some of those tokens just aren't even going to be supported at all by
yeah.
And some of them will maybe prove their worth as being not worth much, and they'll go to the wayside. And if you see them failing on Pulse, then maybe you start seeing them failing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I've thought about You know how they're like seasons or there's going to be a pulse season and then it's going to chill out, right? It's going to chill out for a while.
Of course.
Right. So
and then the chain wars start.
Then
I think this is going to start the chain wars. I think this is the gauntlet slap in the face.
Yeah. Here we go.
That thing is heavy, bro.
It's
real, man.
It's a real deal, baby. What are you talking about, man?
I thought this was like a plastic gimmick or something.
No, man. You will slap the shit out of a bitch with that one.
No, you will kill somebody with this thing. This thing's metal. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is
hardcore, right?
That is insane. That is insane, bro.
But but all jokes aside, like I kind of see that like the coin wars and stuff. There's gonna be a little bit of people trying to like buy these the PRC20s.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just not gonna be supported at first. I think it'll be maybe like a year and a half in where that teams will start like big whales and other people will start claiming them.
Do you think it'll split communities and you'll see Ethereum maxis on that coin and Pulsechain maxis on the coin and community splitting?
I swear, you know what community? One coin I do see is possibly happen. We'll see some action. I think Shiba. I think Shiba might be one of the few. I don't know if the Doge guys are coordinated enough. Like I know the Shiba guys are. Like it's so insane. I mean, this is 2020. What are we 2 or 3? I can't even remember the year. Yeah, we're in 23. We're in 23 now, right? 23. In 23. So basically, Doge is essentially Bitcoin, and Shiba is essentially Ethereum. And what's going on is like because Jackson Palmer or whatever abandoned his project, it's become more of a community coin basically, where Elon Musk is kind of like the czar of it, but there's no development on it. And with Shiba Inu, believe it or not, it's become Ethereum, and now it has its own L1. It's got its own exchange called Bone. Can you believe all this? It's got all this sort of stuff, right? So you might actually see people from the Shiba Inu network, because they're so used to making all these micro shitcoins, they might actually come onto Pulsechain, maybe not in the initial launch, but I believe maybe 6 or 8 months out, start playing and creating things on Pulsechain. That's one coin I do see something happen with. It's just because the meme coin side is going to be pretty powerful because there's a lot of dog money. There's a lot of dog money out here.
Yeah, and and you could trade it a lot. You know, you're going to be able to move it around like however you want because it's not going to cost you anything. I mean, it costs, but it's going to be micro pennies. And I think the other thing is any token that has a heavy S load is probably going to do well on Pulsechain.
Yeah,
because of the fees and whatnot. Of course, Hex is the one that gets hit the hardest.
The hardest, yeah.
So of course, Hex is going to do phenomenal on Pulsechain. Is my thoughts. And then I think the other tokens that are having that type of issue can follow the model that Hex is making and go, hey, take your liquidity, bring it over to Pulsechain, create some pairs, and let's move on this chain instead.
Let me ask you some clickbait questions while I have you here.
Oh boy,
here we go. What's the price of Pulsechain when it launches?
0.00001.
By the end of the year, how many X's will I have on my Pulsechain, sir? Answer, but I want you to answer it 100%.
So moon math on that. I think that out of launch Pulse is easy 150x.
But so you're expecting?
You know me. I'm always very conservative when I say stuff like that. But.
So are you seeing Pulse launching at a lower price and then shooting up? Because probably the Pulse, because like if we look at it, Pulsechain, right, it's going to be the single thing that's going to just go like this, vertical, right?
Well, here's what I'm worried about.
Okay.
I'm worried about the leverage. So a lot of people put a lot of money into Pulsechain.
Yes.
It was the top of the market, so let's not forget that.
Correct. Yeah, there was a lot. What was it? What was it? I think average sack price for Hex at the time was 18 to 25 cents. And then for PulseX, I think it was like 25 to 30 cents.
So OGs,
yes,
OGs and Hex had made some money.
Yes.
It was the top of the market.
Right.
So a lot of them got to sacrifice house money.
House money, yeah. And some people didn't.
But a lot of people wanted to put extra in.
Yes.
You know? And they were expecting Pulse to come out within the year, right? I think a lot of people expected it within a year.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember right, it should have came out summer of last year, like May. It should have come out around May of 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, Richard said May. And,
he did.
And that's coming right up. It's coming right up another month or two, and we'll be in May. So, but I think that some people over-leveraged and got hurt. I think a lot of the Hexicans that did have that wealth coming in may have over-leveraged coming into Hex, and they were ready to cash out, and they sacrificed instead. So I think there's a lot of people out there that are hurting, because I've seen in the Hex community itself, and I love the Hex community. The Hexkins are the best. I think that we're the strongest community in all of crypto, and
That's facts. That's facts.
They're
That's facts.
They're my people.
Yeah.
But I think that some of them made some grave mistakes. I've heard a lot of complaining. I've heard a lot of sob stories. I've seen a lot of vitriol and bitterness.
Yeah.
And that just tells me, why are these people... So they're so happy in the bull market. So that tells me that the shift in their attitude is because of what's transpired, which is the bear market, which means their money went down. Their value went down. Or they can't get to it.
Yeah, no profit taking. And I mean, the reason even Hex went down so much is because people were obviously selling Hex this whole time down. I mean, the reason we hit 1.6 cents was there was sharks and dolphins ESing or just selling their every stake they got. Because there's one thing I want to talk to you about and stuff, because I know you've controlled this really well and stuff, but other people haven't. Is lifestyle creep? Is that during the bull market you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and you then have to start drawing upon the savings. Yeah. Because a lot of us made these stakes because we're very long term focused. Some people just didn't hey, if I'll just do stakes because I don't know anything else than do, because it's fairy dust at the time, right? But over time, we painstakingly made all these ladders and stakes and stuff, and now people are essentially just, it's their money, it is their Hex, they can do whatever they want. But I know a lot of people. I mean, I've seen myself on the leaderboard and stuff on Staker app and all these things. I've only been going up. Or down, or down, because it's I'm maintaining my T-shares and growing them.
But we're going down like this. So the chart goes like this, but we're going down here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those of us who got in,
right? If you look, just zoom out. But but it's a sort of thing where the lifestyle creep of they started living big.
Yes, in the bull, a lot of them did start to. I saw watches and cars and
the Hex Flex stuff
and the Hex Flex stuff. And I bought rain gutters, and
what the fuck are you talking about?
I bought rain gutters. That was my first purchase. Then I bought a coffee machine. I bought rain gutters. I bought a coffee machine. I just treated myself to a couple things.
Yeah, a couple.
But it was my money. I didn't dump Hex to go get it or whatever. But in this crypto space, we're all very merit-based value as far as who we are as a human being and how we get paid. We're all very libertarian. Every man for themselves. Everybody is responsible for themselves, for their own wallets, for their own crypto. It's the tenets of this community. But what got us to where we're at now is not going to get us where we need to go.
Right.
We need a bigger tent. It can't just be the Roger Ver folks that are in crypto. We have to onboard the world. We can't just stay with this 3% of the libertarian style mindset. Although perfect mindset for crypto.
Yeah.
But we've got to start teaching the regular folks, the people that don't think like that, how to use crypto, how to get in, how to be responsible, instead of just aping in, getting wrecked, and you're just fodder, buddy. Sorry.
The washout.
Good luck.
Washout. Yeah.
Good luck. So how do we make it valuable for and I always speak to this. I was a millwright for 30 years, and I worked in that field, and I was a blue collar guy. You were too.
Yeah.
And I worked alongside of people that I care about, and that didn't have a tool like this and don't understand this tool yet. And I want those people to be able to understand it. I want those people to be able to get in responsibly and to understand how to position themselves properly. Because if you do that aping in stuff, if you do the FOMO stuff, a lot of times you get hurt. I mean, I'd say most of the time you get hurt versus you come out on top. And that's general in the crypto space. Not so much I think a lot of us Hexicans got really lucky. Those of us that over leveraged and aped in, did really well. Unfortunately, the cycle that Richard created, creating the sacrifice phase at the top of the market, made it to where that delayed. So what was that, like year 2? We were about year 2?
fuck. Give me 1 second.
Well, we were no.
yeah,
it was a year and a
but-
half after.
Yeah,
after
yeah.
launch.
So basically, year and a half for the So basically, year and a half for the first one, and then we were pretty much 2 years and some change.
Yeah.
for the
So
second, yeah.
yeah. So they get their value. Some of them may have over leveraged and needed it, but they're like, no, the golden ring that I'm getting, the brass ring that I'm trying to grab is Pulse. So I'm gonna sack.
Yeah.
You know, and they were already over leveraged, and now they're double over leveraged, and Pulse didn't come out when they wanted it to. They thought it was going to come out sooner. So a lot of those people are, you know, hurting.
But this is the thing that,
And that's where I see that coming.
and there's also the whole thing too. With like, I mean, I've talked to enough people. I know what happened with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is a lot of people quit their jobs too. Mm-hmm. A lot of people quit.
Never quit your job until you're like super secure.
But you got the when you got the cookie, when you got it in your hand.
But you don't in crypto. It's like $100 bill in the wind.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make sure you got a hold of it, man, because how many times have we seen this 90% dip thing just wreck everybody? Like it did
in the past 6 years, a lot.
Yeah.
Woo!
17 caught me. It caught me off guard. I was hodling when it was, you know, at the top, and some people got out and they told me I should have, and I didn't, and boom, you know, rode it all the way down 90%.
Right.
Now, I didn't depend on that money. See, I always had myself set up properly.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm an established family man, got kids, houses, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you had your established career.
I wasn't, and an established career and a job that I wasn't going to quit. Even, you know, I don't think making a couple $100,000 or whatever is enough to retire on or quit my job for. And some people think that, you know, because some people out there making $30,000, $40,000 a year.
Think 100 G's is going to change your
Like, it's going to change my life and it's only going to get bigger. I'm good. I only make 30 grand a year, 40 grand a year. So that's obviously about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, crypto's going to be way up by then. So that's their thinking.
What's taxes?
And then what's taxes? Oh, you mean I got to do a revocation of election? That's how I get out of it?
Man, dude. Oof.
So no, I mean, it's sad, and I, you know, really pride myself on trying to help people understand the risk that's out here.
Right.
And don't quit your job. And, you know, leave your job when you absolutely have. See, I could have left my job. I left my job in January.
Yep.
I could have left my job a year before that.
After how many years working there?
Well, 30 years in the field.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So I told my company, you know, what had transpired. Yeah. I said, hey, look, I love my job. And I did. I liked my job. Yeah. I had finally made it. You know, instead of being the grunt out in the field, I was the guy in the office calling the shots, building the company, buying gear, making sure people were hired right and all that stuff. So it was a great job. I loved it. It wasn't hard for me. It was like all my years of work was finally there in front of me, and I was able to
peak of the field. Yeah.
Peak of the field. And I told my boss, I said, I love this place. I love you guys, the best people I've ever worked for, but I got to go.
Yeah.
And he, you know, his freaking eyes, jaw dropped. What's wrong? What is it? What do we do? Is it more money or what is it? And I said, it's none of that. I said, my ship came in last year. I said, I've been able to retire for a whole year. I said, but here's the thing. And this is how I want people to start thinking. I think people should start thinking like this when they're looking at anything like any decisions. To act with integrity. I told my boss, I said, look, I took this job because I wanted to help you guys with this project and building this division and whatnot. And I couldn't put my head on my pillow at night if I didn't finish my job here.
Right.
I need to leave. I should be gone, but I'm going to give you guys another year until we find a replacement for me.
And we were talking about this.
Yeah. You and I talked about it in private when it happened. And so I told them, I said, I'm not going to leave you until it's absolutely time. And I spent another whole year there. So I literally could have retired before the bull market was like raging.
Right.
And you know, could have put some money aside, all that kind of stuff. But what I did was I kept doing those things. I kept, you know, investing responsibly and dollar costing in and leverage or limit ordering out.
Yeah.
But I gave them a whole nother year of time to make sure that when I left there, I could put my head on my pillow at night going, I did my job.
Right.
You know, and I left that industry, you know, solid with integrity and helped out the company that.
Yeah, you gave him a 1 year notice, basically. Yeah, not a 2 week, a 52 week notice.
And then I was able to retire at the bottom of the bear market. That's how well I had set myself up.
Yeah,
I wasn't hurting at the bottom of the bear market. I'm still paying, all the crypto bills, and still paying for the YouTube channels, and still paying for, all the companies that we have, and the people that we have employed. So, I mean, that's what I do. I've been taking care of that even in the bear market, where other people have gone away and failed on their obligations, or all of their stuff has gone belly up.
Yeah.
I made sure that, I was solid. And that's what I want everybody to think. I want them to be solid before they start making those decisions.
Right.
And the problem is that we have a lot of young people in this industry that have never had to make these types of decisions, have never, and a lot of them don't have careers like I had. So I can't like,
you can't chastise them.
I can't chastise them for that, because I mean,
but
I had 30 years.
But I can chastise people because I'm a lot younger. But all jokes aside, but no, legitimately, a lot of people. Bro, the amount of people that I know that started crypto businesses and they're completely just lost money and belly up is just because they've never ran a business. They've never been a team leader. Just because you never run a business doesn't mean you don't know how to lead people. You literally could have a job and actually be a leader of people in the job.
It's rampant, bro. Yeah. It's rampant in the whole crypto industry.
Yeah.
There is no leadership. There's a big leadership void. Right. Like you see very intelligent people, but they lack leadership skills. They lack integrity. Right. They lack the grunt work. They lack being out there and sweating and seeing the real value in this thing. And like me, I cherish this space. Crypto is like. It's saved me.
It's the Wild West. It's
the Wild West.
It's the Wild West. You can just go out there, fuck 40 acres and a mule. It's like 120 acres and 5 mules. You know what I'm saying? But it's an open wide. But it's only open for so long. You know what?
It's only in this. It's only going to be in this Wild West phase. Well, it's been 12 years.
It's been 12 years.
But it's not going to be much longer. Once we start to see real adoption. Once we start to see DeFi take off and people can get in and onboarding platforms and banks and institutions that are all allowing crypto to function and operate, then I think that's when we see everything change. 4
to 6 years.
That's when it's not as lucrative as it is.
Yeah. I'm saying it right now, camera-wise. Where's the camera? Within 4 or 5, with that one? Oh, okay. that camera. But within 4 to 8 years, basically we're gonna hit this kind of pinnacle where we're gonna touch during the all-time high. We're gonna touch 20% of the population. It's that whole Pareto principle. We're gonna touch the fast growth we have is gonna hit that 20%, and then from there it'll crash down and go back down low.
Dude, do you know the value that puts in crypto?
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's what we got a $3 trillion market cap with
at the top,
3.5%, 3% of the world in.
Yeah. I've seen these dumb reports of saying that there's like 10% of the population. Get the hell out of here! No, absolutely not. No.
10% that may have gotten into crypto or downloaded Robinhood app.
Yeah, downloaded Robinhood
and bought some coins that they can't get off the app. There's probably there might be 10% because of this last run.
Yeah,
and how popular Robinhood got and all the trading got.
When we were in Miami, right? This is not even joke around. So like me and Charlie, when we're in Miami or we're anywhere else, we just kind of fuck around and like to ask people dumb questions. And every single bartender, every single like host, they're all in Shiba Inu and Dogecoin.
Oh, of course.
Every single without fail, bro.
So my whole family, my family, my friends, my neighbors, everybody knows, I'm a crypto idiot. And so when the bull market was running, that's what they did. They called me and they wanted to know, they wanted my knowledge. And then the first thing that they say to me, well, what do you think of Shiba Inu? What do you think of Dogecoin? And I'm like, oh boy, I got to have this freaking conversation.
Yo, this Elon guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was the most, they knew I knew crypto, but they wanted me to talk to them about Shiba because somebody else told them, "Oh man, look what I did! I made $1,000 last week on my gains." And so they're like, "Oh really? Oh, I know a guy that really knows crypto, so I'm gonna go call him and ask him about it." And so I got to go through this whole dissertation about Shiba Inu, and I don't want to pop their bubble, but I got to be real with them.
Yeah, but
and then it keeps going up, and the stupid trash keeps going up.
Remember this right here. We can be retarded longer than you can be solvent. It's true though, but that is people laugh at that hype cycle shit, but the hype cycle is how people get in.
Yeah,
it is.
And on board,
it's the people who decide who get wrecked, or just like because there's a quadrant. I forgot. I made this one of the original courses. I should probably bring it back of like what'll happen to you in a bull market or bear market. There's guys who like who put money into crypto, win, take profits, win. It's like no matter like they never took a loss. They just take nothing but W's. There's guys who like had profits, didn't take profits, lost shit, but stayed. So it's like I stayed and I won. I won and I stayed, lost and stayed, lost and lost. I left. There's and it's if you actually look at the whole thing, I have to go. It may have been 6 quadrants or 8 quadrants, but basically it was this whole plethora where like it's really like only like 30-40% of people just don't get washed out and decide to stay, right? And I think this guy, if I remember right, the quadrant was like they win, and they just leave. So there's they came in this stupid fuck like and I left, they left and stuff. But if you actually look at it, right, most people, that's actually how you get people to come in, because it's like, why is everyone from our generation's like what, 2017? I mean, I got in December of 2016. So I mean, I might as well be 2017 if I'm being honest. But we got in 2017. It was the greatest hype year ever. Everyone got in. We just happened to stay because we believed. Yeah. And it's changed our lives, right? Yeah. And this is why I tell people it's usually 2 cycles before you really make that life-changing money.
It is. It's 2 cycles.
Yeah.
It is 2 cycles. If you do the right thing.
If you do the right thing.
If you hodl, if you stay, if you don't
I can only
sell
think of in all this entire time I've been in crypto, I can only think of maybe 3 or 4 people who got in 2017 and kept the money. How many people I've met in my life in this crypto space? I know 3 guys that came in, made bank, and kept it. Mm-hmm. Every guy that I knew made bank in 2017 lost. Almost everybody lost it.
Oh yeah, we did.
Either blew it on dumb stuff, or just reinvested in 2018 and then kept going down.
So here's what happened. Here's what happened to me. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So 14, I bought Bitcoin. 15, I started realizing what it was.
Right.
That's when I started investing. Ran up in 16, was feeling good about it. Hit it heavy in 17.
Yeah.
I was like, sitting on top of the world. And
you were white hot, bro. You were white hot.
White hot. Whoa. So I had a cousin who listened to my advice, and he got in. And he got in 17.
Yeah. Yeah.
And decent amount, and it ran up. And right at the top, I don't know what made him do it or why he did it. He pulled it. He pulled it all.
He sold it?
He sold it.
Wow.
And
shout out to your cousin.
Well, but here's the thing. So he sold it, and I told him not to. I said, don't sell it, man. Don't sell it. But see, I was thinking long term. I wasn't thinking that cycle. I didn't know there was going to be a crash. Don't get me wrong. I did not know. But I just knew that you didn't take your investment and get in and get out within the first year. Yeah. I know that. So I was trying to advise him against that, but he did it anyway. And he put it in my face. He built this monster pool in his backyard. He moved to Tennessee.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yep.
So he moves to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He buys a monster pool, and it's beautiful. And he sent me pictures, and it's all over Facebook. And the whole family's like, well, what happened to RG? Oh. And my wife. So my wife knows nothing about crypto, right? So she sees her cousin. She's sunning by her pool, sipping lemonade, and I got still the same stuff. Only she knew my crypto had run up, but then she knew it crashed. So he got out and she was, my name was Mud, bro. I was like, oh, you failure. Yeah, what did you do that for, Roy? And she just failed. I was just a failure, but I knew at that point. See, and now I look at it now. And I go, that $100,000 pool that he put in his yard. Yeah. I've destroyed that.
Yeah.
By holding that bottom. By holding that bottom and continuing to do my research and continuing to look at people like Richard, because, Richard called the top.
Yep.
And I said, well, shit, if that guy called the top, he's got to be smart.
Yep. So
that's when I started following him. And that's when I reinvested my little meager bag that got wrecked from where it was. Right. Into Hex in the beginning, and of course, because I did that, because I lasted a couple of cycles, there's generational wealth now. So I mean, it's the long game.
Yeah.
And now that Hex and the Hex ecosystem, Pulse, PulseX, are coming out in True DeFi. We need to set these principles in place so that people understand it's the holders, it's the people that delay gratification, it's the people that are responsible, that limit order out, the dollar cost in, that are responsible, that are the ones that win. It's the responsible people that win because the system is set up for you to be responsible. That's what Richard did. He set it up for you to be responsible. And I think even his play on how to, sacrifice for Pulse and all that, at the top of the bull, he's protecting Hexicans.
Yeah.
He's always protected us. Just like, the OA. The OA is always protecting us, always keeping the system going. It's always about merit to the people that are doing the right things. And if you did the right thing in Hex, you're sitting on a very, very nice bag.
Very nice bag. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, shout out to my boys, man. DCA. I made a very good DCA at like 1.9 cents.
Nice.
And I staked.
You didn't stake. You published.
I published. You're right. I'm going to retire now. But I published 50% of it away.
I like the new narrative that's going on. I like the fact that Richard is switching it up. And I was just talking a little earlier about it. That what I like about Richard's brilliance, is that not only did he create a good crypto, not only did he do some good marketing, but he knows how to pivot.
Yes.
When he sees something, like he pivoted with Ethereum. Yeah. He said, "Oh my gosh, this thing is going to kill my coin. Right. It's going to kill Hex because if you stake, let's just say you're a small guy, and you stake and you got a stake coming out and it's worth $500, $300, $400, $500, right. And your fees are wipe it out to nothing." It's ruining your crypto.
Yeah, it's ruined. Yeah, so
he pivoted.
I can literally tell you how much it costs on a stake right now.
Yeah,
it is $180 right now. This is for an old stake. It's now 3 years and some change. It is so just divided by 3. That's basically going to tell you that. So it's like what are you paying, like $60 for?
So you got a $300 stake and you lose over half of it.
Half of it. So it's like you lose all the interest.
All of your interest. You get your principal back. Maybe you got some price appreciation,
right?
But you're sitting at the bottom of a bear market right now,
right?
So it's a real sad thing. But he pivoted, and even with his outrage marketing and everything, he's pivoting on that.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk. So I don't have my tinfoil hat on, but if I had my tinfoil hat on, so do you believe? So obviously, our outrage marketing does work.
It sure does.
So it's just like
by the right person.
Right.
The right person in the right position wins with outrage marketing. You have to have a quality about you. Like, look at Donald Trump. Look at Andrew Tate. Look at who's the boxer? The MMA. Conor McGregor.
Oh, Conor
McGregor. All those outrage guys, they have a quality about them. And it doesn't have anything about, you don't see any of their realness. You've never seen them like, you've never seen that this is an act. It's like them raw. It's them in your face. It's them for real, being that person. Versus Richard. Richard was, if you can still go look at his videos, he was a top hat wearing kind of, looked like a guy from, the crypto basement kind of guy, just your average dude. He wasn't an Andrew Tate freaking Adonis looking guy. He had a crazy gift for gab. Yeah. He was crazy smart, but he just didn't have all those other qualities, like these other guys did. And it made it easy. He was easy prey for people to come and bust on. And then Richard doesn't look. Those guys go after people like nobody's business.
Right.
Richard pivots. Richard sees the value in people, and you see that in him at times. Now, I've seen him destroy folks, people who say stupid shit.
Yeah.
But like an Andrew Tate, he'll just destroy you, period. Destroy you. Conor McGregor will just destroy you because he's supposed to destroy you. Fuck your humanity. I'm coming after you. And Richard is the guy that is a normal dude, and you could see that humanity in him. So it fails. In my opinion, it fails. It's not him. It's not really him. And we all saw that.
Yeah.
We all saw that. And, but it did. It got the watches got the eyes. The crazy clothes got the eyes. All of the FUD, all of the bashing that he got from it was all, worth. We saw the value in it.
Yeah. Now,
but I don't think it got the value that he really, really wanted.
Right. So I think it worked. So personally, like if I'm really like,
it did work. It did work.
It worked for the first half. The first half of this bear market, it actually worked really well. Afterwards, now I don't know whether so I think he could have pivoted much sooner. But I think what was going on is he was probably leaning into let's FUD out the weak hands.
Yeah.
A little bit, because there was
and there was a lot of people that did FUD out because of it.
Yeah.
But I think that it started falling on deaf ears in the bear market. So there were a lot of people that supported it.
Right.
And the Hex community kind of had. There was even a moment there where there was head clashes.
Yeah.
I remember when Richard was really doing it, when he started talking about his wank, some other people,
cocaine shit.
That was like that. Yeah, that made people very uncomfortable. A certain type of person very uncomfortable, and it started fights. And even those people that were supporting him then, they're gone.
Yeah,
they're not supporting it now, or they're glad about this switch that he's made. I mean, he's got pictures of himself as a kid on his Twitter now, with a Nintendo shirt on,
Right.
And so I just think that the community didn't embrace it either. I think that they even felt like it was failing or it wasn't enough, I think they realized too that it wasn't Richard.
Right.
It's not really Richard. Of course, he created all that, so it is him, but I don't think inside Richard wants to flaunt wealth.
Right.
I don't think Richard wants to bash human beings. I don't think Richard wants to say vulgar things and shock people so much that they're going to hate him or his products or anything like that.
Right.
I think that he was doing it to draw attention, and I don't think that it was. I think it worked, but I don't think that it's going to get us to where we need to go. It got us to where we are, but I don't think it's what's going to get us into the future.
Yeah.
And
we're saying all this stuff right now and everything, but there's tons of people. Shout out to Art right here, but getting views and followers doesn't necessarily translate to onboards. It kind of does, but if we're being but that's also
eyes. It's all about eyes.
It's all about eyes and
touches, clicks, eyes, and we know because we do the numbers. Right. Everybody does the numbers. AdSense, Google AdSense, all this stuff. It's about the clicks, about the numbers. It's about
I'm going to say something right now, allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly on this, right? So watch this. So allegedly, right? So I've been talking about a game called Illuvium for a while, right? Mm-hmm. Illuvium. And for the longest time, we're in the bear market. They're about to launch their game sometime late this year, and the full game finally, right? But they're launching this thing called Illuvatars, which is like a card game. So you'll both buy little Pokemon packs, right? Uh-huh. And what's going to happen is they were trying to do all this marketing and stuff for a long time. They're doing interviews and stuff, and then it is getting subscribers up, but the views weren't going up. But the moment there's something to buy and there's a chance to make money and there's action, the coin fucking shoots up in price, and what's called IMX is going bananas because they can't handle all the transactions. Where did that come from? Because the subscriber, the most important thing is live viewers. I believe it is live viewers, but then I was talking to Black Ice about. You haven't met Black Ice yet, but basically I was talking about that your subscriber count is just an email list. It is the bigger the list is, when something because we're in the crypto space, people want some sort of action to really make a lot of money, or wow, the Pulsechain's launching. That's when it really matters, because then it brings even and now this isn't right or wrong, but a lot of people will subscribe to Richard and subscribe to these other people. They're just catalog. Oh, I know the Pulsechain's gonna come at some point, so I'll just follow him real quick, and when it comes out, I'll just ape in money. Because that's how people are. Most people, there's the 80-20%. Realistically, it's really 95, but let's just say 80-20, right? So you got 80% of people that'll just subscribe to Richard. The 100% will subscribe to Richard, and the 80 will just leave it. Won't really pay attention to Richard until oh, dude, Pulsechain's launching? Oh, crap. Then they'll start hyper paying attention, and then they'll throw their money in without doing the research before, where the other 20% will really dig deep and really figure out, like, what's my plan going to be? And that's how humans always are. So, I mean, all this outrage marketing, a lot of people found it funny. Some people got pissed off, but it did ruffle a lot of feathers. Let me tell you how, in this bear market, the Hex community was the loudest.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't die. Yeah. Everyone thought we were going to die. We did not die. As low. The only time that I saw maybe like I finally I saw a little capitulation was when we broke below like 2.3 cents.
Yeah,
that was the only time. I mean, and
I went harder, bro.
I went hard.
I went harder.
Ask me how much dry powder I had.
I knew that was what was going to happen. I knew that we were going to see some more fallout, some more fodder, some more casualties of war, and I wanted to charge a hill, man, because that's what I'm made out of. It's like we can't stop now. You know, you put all of your everything into this. You better be willing to fight the fight when it's coming at you the hardest. Yeah. You know, that's what makes you who you are. That's what makes the community. It's like who's going to stand up? Who's going to fight? Who's going to punch these guys in the face when we're down? Who is going to do it? You know, and that's when I said I'm doubling down, because everyone was like, you know, hey, let's slow down on the channel. Let's, you know, do this, do that. Maybe it's time to walk off into the sunset. You know, and I just thought,
how many Hex YouTubers are still around right now?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are around, but they're not streaming.
What happened?
You know, and because you know what, better streamers showed up. I always said that. Remember, I said we're going to have better streamers.
You said people are going to get phased out and stuff. Yeah,
and phased out, and we were going to have better streamers. And here's what happened. So our numbers went down. Discourse Syndicate's numbers went down.
Yeah.
And we were the OG stream. We were
the
original community stream, and our numbers have gone down. While all these new guys with, you know, beautiful freaking studios and charts.
Yeah.
Showing, you know, just giving a little bit of hopium. See, they were the drug dealers. And I'm not saying anything bad, but we got some great streamers. But a lot of them, all they were doing was just, oh, this could happen, that could happen, this could happen, this could be, this is a possibility. Look at the possibilities. Let me feed you some hopium. And I didn't want to do that. Yeah. I didn't want to put false hope. I wanted to let everybody know we're in a bear market, and you better get used to it, and you better pull up your big boy and your big girl pants and get to work and go do something and keep talking about it, and don't let this bear market prove itself right.
Right.
Because it's not. Richard said crypto dips 90% every time, 80, 90%. And it was just another one. But people were acting like it was the end.
Now, let me tell you something that I've done to my channel that it's hurt my channel. I've hurt my channel doing this.
Right? We've all hurt our channels.
We've all hurt our channels, but I've hurt my channel, not like, watch this. I'm not saying I created moon math, but you know, blessed be thy bags, for they shall pump. Like, I mean, I'm the hopium. Like I was saying, bro, I've got clips of me saying how high Hex could go.
Dude, I got to give you props. When you and I first met, and we started doing the show together, we'd have our personal conversations.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And dude, every week, you know, you were the crypto whore, so you were out there. You were out there.
Please call me the 304.
I knew that I didn't have it in me to go out and do the research that you did. I know that I didn't have it in me to go and risk on other assets, and you did. And I'll tell you what, during that bull run, you know, while I was holding my Hex, and I did extremely well, holding my Hex and my stakes. But you were making some calls, bro, that were blowing my mind. Like, you'd call me one week, and then we'd talk the next week, and that bag was, you know, freaking did a 10, 20, 15x, you know. And I was just like, gosh, this guy is just calling it every day. And you did, man. You called a ton of them. So hats off to you on that, man. I should have listened to your calls, but I did well.
But you can't. Like, I've told people all the time, like, you can't be on everything. You cannot. There's this whole thing about being too diversified and being too. There is this whole like. There is the classic like. Now in the crypto. So normally, most people how they get wealthy is being highly concentrated. And people don't look at like, oh, I'm just got my business, and then I got like a. If you actually
the major wealth comes from concentration. If you're spread out and diversified, you're going to lose here, you're going to win here, you're going to lose big here, and you're going to win big here. So you're going to be kind of diluted.
Right.
But if you're in one asset that does well, then you crush it.
So right now I'm highly concentrated in the crypto space. My majority of my wealth is
Well, all of ours.
all of ours, but I'm just saying, like my entire wealth is in the crypto space. But normally, even being highly in one space, right? In the equity, I'll relate crypto to equities for a second, right? Let's just say I'm just in the commodity space, right? You still can lose tons of money in the commodity space, right? But because crypto has so much volatility to the upside, that you can be diversified, nothing crazy. Normally, you want to be in. I mean, where people make these crazy returns is they put all in one coin, get lucky, and it goes bananas, right? But you can be in crypto and be in like 5 to 10 coins and still make out like a bandit, because crypto I mean, if you're buying the lows right now, on pre-existing coins, you can make 15, 30 banger, 15 to 30 times on your capital. It's nowhere else can you do that in 2 years.
Well, it's the growth rate, bro.
Yeah.
It's we've got we've got the highest or the fastest moving product ever in existence, asset in existence, which was the internet.
Yes.
And I think it grew somewhere around 40%. I got to get my numbers straight because it's somewhere around 40%, I think. And that was like amazing. That year over year growth at 40%. The internet was the phenomenon of the world.
Right.
And now crypto, and nobody's really talking about this, is growing at 120% a clip every year right now. 120%. It is the growth industry ever of all evers.
Do you want to hear? You want to hear the biggest quote right here? So watch. The growth rate you said for the internet, right? Cell phones grew twice as fast. We're growing twice as fast as cell phones.
It's crazy, right?
The only thing that stops it is that we do have that downturn. That's what slows it down. So during the slowdowns, it stops, and then when we speed up, we make up the ground.
And that's because it's a tradable asset. Yeah. It's not a commodity to see
or a service or commodity. Yeah.
The hopefully eventually as it starts to calm down, it'll be seen as that, and people won't be out there freaking degen trading it. That's the problem with the crypto space is the degen trading.
Yeah, it's a leverage and stuff, but we can't. I mean, now let me just say one thing before I forget, because shout out to Art, man. I think I said one of Art's thing, like. Where's that quote Art said? Okay, people came back after 6 cents, Hex and stuff. Ghost when Hex hits the bottom. Basically, yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, a lot of people coming out of the woodwork at 6 cents.
But Art, now Art is getting more views and followers doesn't necessarily translate to onboards. The reason I shouted you out is because I know what groups you're a part of, man. Like this guy took our first original course. He is an OG. This guy, I love Art and stuff. He's like, shout out to him, man. But I will say this though, man, bro. A lot of people in the OG chat, not in the art. We have some people that kind of like took our course a long time ago, kind of decided to go do their own thing and stuff like that. Made some money, didn't believe us and lost money. And so it's the class. It happens, right? A lot of those guys are just super salty because I mean they will fade. They'll grow out of it basically. But I mean, trust me, like a lot of the guys. I'm talking about. There's a chat called the OG chat from. And I'm telling you, a lot of those guys are just salty motherfuckers. And it's just is what it is. And I don't know if it's their personality or whatever, but like, watching in the bull market, they're gonna, but right now they got to stick up their fucking ass. And they don't see, there's no hope. So that's why I'm trying to tell Art and some of these guys, chill out on that chat a little bit. Because trust me, it's going to fucking bite you in the ass. I think I said something about Pulse and Nex and stuff like they're just being so negative and stuff like they're like, oh my god, when Pulsechain isn't out yet, this shit's bullshit and stuff. But the fucking coin's up like 4x in the last fucking month. What the fuck are you talking about? Because they're so fudded out. They don't have any bags. They never bought any bags. They didn't buy the low. They didn't DCA. They're not even on a 2x. They're just salty as fuck, you know. And that's a lot of people. And it's sad to say. It's sad. Like don't like this is what this happens to, like it happened no matter what. You can be an OG and like there's a lot of OG, bro. I don't want. There's some OGs in Hex. I don't want to bring up the names and but there are some people that like just drop the bag. I mean, had it and left it. There's people that are in the beginning of Hex that don't have dog shit right now.
I know.
Because they messed it up, and it's sad, dude. And it's you are better off in crypto being positive, glass half full than half empty. I'm serious.
But you know, when I see the people in the back that I know are the wealthiest in the Hex ecosystem, the ones that I know personally, that have monster bags. You know, they're all whales and sharks. those guys are the ones that aren't seen. Those guys are the ones that never came out. They never, there's a few of them that stream. There's a few sharks and a few whales that stream and whatnot that are out there. But most of them are behind the scenes. They don't show themselves. They're not part of the community. They're, they're outside of it. But
yeah. Now, Black Label Expat right here. Let me bring this up for a second because I love this shit. Because Black Label is a G, bro. He's an admin. He's an admin on my channel.
No, I can't see the chats.
It's right. Yeah, you can see right there. But like VSP, Cell, Car, Luna, SNX, right? Here's what's up, right? No matter what, in a bull market, no matter what, you're gonna get in coins and they're just not gonna go well. Right now, if you're in a great coin like Hex and stuff, you're fine and stuff like. But like typically, exclude the hexagon. I'm excluding the hexagon here, so get the fuck out of it. No. But excluding the hexagon, right? You're going to be in a couple of coins, and not all of them are going to ride out well. It just happens, right? But let's go over VSP. VSP was this coin that I liked a lot during the first DeFi summer. This was in 2020. Look, this I literally read my chat and I literally will answer this. VSP, I took a big L on this coin. I liked it a lot. It had a great product fit. It was something like a decentralized Celsius or like a Reaper or something like that, where you basically put your coins here, you yield farm, it yields it for you, and then it replicates it for you. It's good tax structured, and it's all DeFi'd. Cool. It's still around. It's still doing its thing. But here's the problem: Ethereum gas fees killed it. That's what happened. This is what happened to a lot of things. The S-load. It was doing a lot of stuff computationally in the background on Ethereum, and what happened is, it just didn't work out.
That's a coin that can make a comeback.
That coin can maybe make a comeback. That's what happens. Like now, Celsius, bro.
Do we even have to talk?
Yeah, I will. But I will talk about it. Let's go. Yo, I started talking about Celsius at 9 cents. 9 cents.
I remember.
A lot of guys in our original courses got into it at 13 to 25 cents. It went up to $8, but realistically, it banged to $5 really quickly. Anyone who got into Celsius that in our original courses made a lot of money.
No, you were pitching me Celsius back then at 8 cents or whatever.
And let me tell you this right now. What camera? Right, look at me, okay? Look at me. I'm captain now. Right? But look at me. So December of 20, so me and Charlie had been talking about this in private since August of 2021. We started seeing some smoke. Something's up with Celsius. Like it's not performing well. Like it didn't do these moves. What's going on, right? All of 2021 was kind of weird. It stayed at $5 the entire time. No, it literally touched $4.70, went back to $5, $6. It was just ranging between $1 like this the whole time. We're like, hey, yeah, this thing's kind of acting weird, you guys. So around December, me and Charlie had this really serious conversation. We're going to totally just flip the script and we're out. So we told all our guys, hey, you guys, we're out of Celsius. I'm going to sell my Celsius tomorrow. I'm telling you guys to get out of this thing. I'm going to sell. I'm going to tell you guys to sell right now. I'm getting out tomorrow. So you could dump on my head. Like literally. So I sold all my Celsius at $4.70. Everything. And I said, get all your assets off of Celsius. We banged this drum. We were banging this drum for 6 fucking months. And then one thing, so it was like me and Charlie were talking in the background, right? We were like, okay, how can we get people to get their coins off of Celsius? Oh, I know. We just super lean into Pulsechain. Hey, you guys, if you guys want to get your copy of your coin, get all your coins out of Celsius, put it onto your wallet because the Pulsechain's going to come out really soon because we thought so. I mean, fucking Richard said May. So we were banging the drum for fucking months, homies. Months on months. Yeah, we don't like. Hey, Celsius.
Well, you might have saved some people though.
We saved everyone that was paying attention.
Good.
Everybody, bro, and anyone who took our course in the beginning, bro. We bought the coin at 25 cents, $1. We made a $5. You can't cry about making any gains. Like, look, there is this whole thing of opportunity cost, right? Oh, if I was in this coin, like, if you go anywhere, not in court, but like if you go anywhere, like you go to somebody, like, what happened? Well, this guy told me to get into this guy liked the coin, so I decided to get into it. I make 2-3 times on my money, and then it didn't do anything more, and I got out of it. So where's the crime? Or like, where's the? Well, I could have thrown it maybe in this coin, and I could have made 2 more times my money. But would you have? You never know. Like, there's a lot of ifs here, right? Now, Luna. Me and Charlie, like, I was already iffy. I was very, very, very iffy about Luna from the jump because it was just like they were calling. I mean, imagine this. They're calling themselves terrorists
Yeah.
Like lunatics. They were calling themselves this stuff, right? These are people that are very, very reserved people. These guys are like some little dorky fucks that like they like.
They all are. What are you talking about? The whole fucking space is full of people like that.
I'm talking about turbo dorks and like turbo dorks. A lot of,
turbo dorks.
I'll be for real with you guys. A lot of people from South Korea, like just being for real. A lot of people from South Korea, a lot of people from there. They were super into the shit, and they were super into like putting their dollars in getting 20%. I didn't get into crypto just to make 20%. But like, I can leave my stable coins here, and then I can take leverage on my stable coins, and then I can put my leverage stable coins here, and now I'm making 42% APR, APY, and stuff. I'm Giga Brain, Mad Chad, super dork, right? This is the shit they were super into, and then Luna was going up like crazy because then they were taking their fucking borrowed on dollars, making yield, taking the yield, and then buying more Luna with it, then repothecating and doing the same fucking shit again.
Hey, there's a lot of there's a lot of hex systems that are talking about doing that too.
Right. Now, we got into it. We started talking about around like $7, $14. It ran up. This is with imagine all this within less than 6 months. It runs up 5-10x on us. I start telling the same thing here. Backstory again.
Yep.
Yo, Charlie, dude, I'm feeling kind of weird about this. I started telling. I think like from what I'm seeing right now and the research I'm doing right now, I think this thing's gonna unwind in the next 3 to 6 months, dude. I'm a little. Like it's just too much people, too much big monies in the stable coin. I even forgot the stable coin's name anymore. But the stable coin in Luna and stuff. Let's get out of it. Yeah, it's getting a little risky. Like I told him, like I think it can go to like 140, but like 120. But I'm just gonna get out, dude. I'm just feeling fucking really like I was literally, my hands were sweating, dude. I was feeling really weird about it. I sold all my Luna on YouTube. I told you guys I'm out. I told this on YouTube in the Citadel. No, actually the Citadel wasn't even created at the time. In all our Telegram groups and stuff, we had a big meeting about it. You guys, we just sold out of all our Luna. I sold it $87. Charlie sold it at $93. The motherfucker. But we sold. I said I'm out. We're all out and stuff. You guys, I think something's gonna happen with Luna and stuff like that. And I was shocked how fast it unwinded. I thought it was gonna take 3 to 6 months for it to like take shit to bed. I thought like I told him I was so pissed off because when it hit $120, I was like, fucking, I knew it, son of a bitch. And then literally, boom. Within 3 weeks, it was donezo. I mean, 99 down, 99 down, 99 down, 99 down, zen. I mean, like, wow, dudes. And like, let me keep going on these coins because it's like I'm not afraid. Like, but it's just this is what happens. Like, look, right now in the part of the cycle, you can buy and holding. 2 years from now, it's more like we're buying and it's a flipping game. I mean,
I don't swim in that pool, man. I know you don't swim in that pool. No, it's not my thing, man. I don't do it.
In the crypto mindset, we teach everybody like this is the whole gambit. Now, I'm very proud to say this. Me and Charlie in the crypto mindset, we 100% said fuck leverage, fuck not swing trade, but day trading. We stayed away from. I'm very proud to say we stayed away from leverage and really pushed our people away from leverage. If you got wrecked, right? Imagine how much wrecked you'd be on leverage.
Oh,
like if you're living,
that's just extra shrapnel in the grenade. You know what I mean?
If you're living in a studio apartment, you live in a box right now. If you live in Malibu, you're living in Malibu.
You're on the 110 freeway in a box, baby.
I should hit a Pepe for that, man. That was incredible, man. Right, man. That's right, man. Now, now synthetics. The last one, right? This was a baby of mine. I loved the coin SNX, right? All right. Basically, same thing. Ethereum, an S load. Mm-hmm. Synthetics has officially kind of left Ethereum, and they're completely on OP, on optimism. They're like So you know how we were the trendsetters in Hex with using Uniswap, and then when the Uniswap airdrop happened, we received 7% of the total supply of Uniswap because the Hexagons were completely all the liquidity pools, all the we should have got fucking 30% if I'm being honest, but they kind of they kind of stiffed us out of like at 7, but still 7% of the total supply of Uniswap was given to the Hexagons because we completely bootstrapped the entire thing.
Yeah.
OP, the largest airdrop recipient were people using synthetics. Synthetics completely burned the ships. Ask Kane Warwick, who is the brother of Kieran Warwick, who's the founder of Illuvium. Full circle, right? At the beginning of the stream. Kane Warwick created synthetics, and basically out of synthetics came Curve, Convex, and all this other stuff, all the beautiful stuff that comes out of Ethereum and stuff. Convex and Curve being the main thing why when you trade from stablecoin to stablecoin, you don't get complete fucking wrecked. Yeah, because if I sold USDC into Tether, they would take a 2-3% vig on me.
It's kind of like an escrow kind of deal.
So it's more like creating these. It's a sense of pools and stuff, so you can have both USDC and all these other
the stables pegged to each other.
Pegged to each other, so you don't have this huge misprice, because then from there it can cause big problems.
So you don't have people. You don't have people arbitraging freaking stable coins.
Right, too much. There still is a little bit of that at the large
It's just
level.
a little bit.
There's a little bit of that, but it basically, and it also incentivizes that way. If you're a stablecoin provider or a project, you can pay money and energy into it, or buy a ton of Curve, and then incentivize your pool so your pool so you don't get kind of attacked on, basically. So there is a lot of stuff in there, right? So anyway, and then from there, the people that are in those pools. Guess how? That's how Phantom. Some of the people that originally that kind of got into Phantom later on, like what's his name? I'm so sorry. I'm spacing on names right now. But
the fact that you know all these people.
Yeah, this is what happens.
I don't have enough space left up in here anymore. Enough brain cells left. I can't store all of this crap.
So that coin, whatever. Like Synthetics ended up doing okay. It went from like I think we were talking about it maybe at $3 to $5. It went up to 28, and then didn't perform anymore. The whole bull market. That's what happened because of the Ethereum side. That's what happened. And then, but guess what? It didn't die, and now is doing very well on OP. And now it's gave a shit ton of airdrops to people who are still using it. But watch this. We rhyme back. 2 courses later, like 6 months later, we tell people, you guys, we like synthetics a lot, but it's just the gas fees. It's making it unusable for most people. So it's going to be mostly a big trade, or like a lot of Wall Street money's in that project in the background. There's big Wall Street traders trading that thing. You guys, it's a little dangerous. I'm just keeping my bag. I'm just yield farming it for 14% or whatever, and that's it. I'm not doing anything else with it. A lot of other people, so we just stopped talking about it from there.
Yeah.
And but this is what's going to happen. If now outside of like Hex and all this stuff, if you're actually out here not in the Hex world, but in the regular crypto world, you are going to get into projects and they're just like not going to they're going to perform for a while. Some of them just perform the whole bull
because
market.
Of speculation.
It's speculation, yeah. But
my bro told me.
My bro told, but I'm being very honest with you guys. Like, I mean, I will say though, I have got a fucking pretty good track record. I choose really good projects, but it happens like 1 in 8, 1 in 12. Just don't do shit.
The best one you chose was Hex.
And I've been banging that.
That was your best call ever. Was Hex.
I've been banging that drum for a long time.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this: like, it's this gig that we got is not an easy gig.
No,
it's not an easy gig and stuff like that. Like,
and you've that's why I wasn't willing to get out there and go into the crypto space anymore. You know, I was in it. I was in the back alleys. I was sleazing just like everybody else and degen trading. And I would have been a leverage trader had there not been something like Hex come out. Or I was getting ready to leave the market, period. I was disgusted after 2017. Yeah. I was disgusted with everything that I saw. I was disgusted with the Telegram pump and dump rooms. And I was in them. I was in there watching and listening and being part of those things and the degen trading. And I was just disgusted with it. I'm like, that's not what the white paper said. Not what Satoshi's white paper said. That's not the fundamentals that the people that believe in crypto are really trying to preach. This has turned into degenerate gambling and absolute Ponzi schemes. and absolute
An
shell
actual,
games.
an actual Ponzi scheme.
Actuals, but I mean, that's what FTX is.
Yeah.
It's a real Ponzi scheme. It's nothing new.
Well, we should call it fraud. Really.
Well, it is.
But I guess I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like pay.
Fraud is. I mean, Ponzi scheme is fraud, and the only reason that they were able to get away with it is because there is no regulation in the space, and they were able to just have a redo of all of the things that have always been played since time began, since people were trading shells.
Right.
People were playing these games on each other.
Right.
As soon as you can leverage, as soon as somebody loaned, as soon as we started making money that didn't exist.
Right.
As soon as we started doing things like that and saying, well, we'll do it on your merit. We'll do it on, your value. And we'll say that's worth it. We'll let you keep that thing, but we'll say it's worth it. We'll give you the money and, you put it up as collateral. And as soon as all of these things started to come out, then people started realizing that they could cheat the system. And there's nothing new under the sun. That FTX thing is textbook exactly what Mr. Madoff did. And people before him have done the same thing, and a lot of people got hurt.
Right. And what's crypto is? I mean, a lot of crypto is like it's just taking old concepts, maybe adding a couple things to it.
It's just new technology.
It's just new technology.
All the products are the same products that have ever existed in finance.
Yeah.
They've all existed forever. All they are is copies of old products. That's it. It's just a new technology. It's outside of the banking system. It's outside of the government systems. It's outside of it. And because of that, the hucksters, shucksters, and fraudsters and P.T. Barnums were able to come in and circumvent everything and stop the real growth and stop DeFi from coming. DeFi should have came 10 years ago. Yeah. DeFi should have came right after, well, let's just say after Ethereum.
After the tech boom, after the tech crash, it should have came right there.
We should have been able, we should have been able to launch True DeFi, but for some reason, we had another 5 years of just degenerate gambling. Because there were no adults in the room. Yeah. It was just the lunatics were running the asylum, right? And like you and I talked about earlier in the beginning of the stream was, it's the lack of integrity, it's the lack of leadership, it's the lack of business acumen. Look at some of these guys. Right. They lack business acumen. And I'm not going to call the majors out on this, but the major players that are the heads of corporations that have these massive amounts of wealth because of their crypto, they're not leaders. Right. They're not businessmen. They don't have business acumen. They may have some marketing tools. They may have had one guy here and there come in. I remember when everyone was touting Mashinsky as being the greatest of all time. You even said some nice things about him.
Look, I've met. Literally, here's the thing. I met if I'm being for real, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just about everyone was running the same shit. I almost call him the head of fucking the Ukraine, Zelensky.
Zelensky.
Oh my God, Mashinsky. Jesus Christ, these names. But I met Mashinsky in person and stuff. He was a nice dude and stuff. I will say this though. He had his pitch down. He had a very good. I remember I saw him at the Litecoin Summit in 2020 in Las Vegas at the Cosmopolitan, if I remember right. I met him there. He blew everybody out of the water in terms of so one thing that
you got to give for gab.
Yeah, the gift. I will say and I teach the box, right? The L7 loser, right? The most important thing is who's the founder, who's the team, right? Does it have a community, product market fit? Who's the largest investors, right? But one thing is what I was always looking for, and this has been a big thing for investments and stuff, is you can invest into coins that they're one cycles. That's it. Wow, this coin's going to do fantastic. It's just going to burn out. There's coins like Hex. Wow, this is going to last a long time, right? Now, with something like Celsius and I was calling Zelensky. Jesus Christ, Mashinsky, right? With Mashinsky, he was a smart guy, been around a long time. His pitch was incredible. When I saw him talk in person, I was like, holy fuck. We heard 35 speakers at that conference. He blew them all out of the water.
But strong and wrong.
Strong and wrong, but incredible pitch. So I knew, but at the time, he's he didn't have a token, didn't give a fuck. Then I was like, oh my God, this guy has a pitch. So basically, I was like, this guy is so good at marketing. It's going to get a lot of people in. So it's probably, and it did do very well. Now on the business practice side and stuff like that, basically what was going. If you actually look at the reason like he's getting attacked and stuff is because he pissed off a lot of banks because he actually called. Like I learned, I know this is like whether people like this or not. This is the fucking truth. I learned a lot from him because I learned a lot about repofication. I learned a lot about banking. I learned from Celsius. I learned a lot about the borrowing game. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty dirty and it's pretty stupid for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like it really is. At some like basically it's like borrowing on your crypto is pretty stupid for the. I mean, there's times to do it, but it's leverage at the end of the day.
It's leverage. At the end of the day, it's leverage, and there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah. That's what they want. That's what centralization wants. They want you to leverage. They want you to borrow. They need that. They need, in order to function, in order to operate, they need your money.
Yeah, and
they got to give you something fake in return.
In return, yeah.
You know, and that's what this is all about. That's what the banking
system
is.
But my mortgage, look, there like there's always is some version of leverage, right? But like the reason like a year fixed mortgage it's all about terms, right? If you are gonna borrow, right, like the reason I like a 30-year fixed mortgage is because. Well,
it's the real mortgage.
It's a real mortgage, but
it's a real mortgage.
But it's locked in. They can't just fucking pull you at the end of the night. What do you think? I was so shocked to know. Like, I mean, everyone makes fun of the United States' financial system, right? Like, oh, the United States is doing.
But it's the best in the world.
But it's the best in the world. Like, all this shitting on the American system, and then the Europeans and the fucking Canadians and the fucking the Australians. And don't get me started on the fucking Chinese. Like, they've got some of the most retarded. Oh my god. Like, let me close my eyes, open the third eye. Like, one of the dumbest fucking real estate systems. Like, all of them.
The real estate's horrible around the
10, 15-year mortgages, all like variable.
Yeah.
And then on the Chinese side, right? If you don't,
steal.
If you look because of the one-child policy, there's so few females and stuff, and they drove all the females into the city and stuff. So then the females aren't having babies anymore, basically collapsing society. What they did is the Chinese government. What they did is they incentivized the real estate market through like, okay, in order for you to get married and stuff, like because like they still have a very traditional system in terms of like the family tries to get, if they can't get you, like the family will literally like kind of like resume you out. So they'll go like, I have a daughter, you have a son. What is your son's resume, right?
Yeah.
And because there's so few females,
and that's all old time tested stuff.
It's all time, that's all time.
Nothing new,
right? But because the power shift ended up going so much onto the female side in the Chinese society, so what they did is they started selling like concrete shacks. So it's like you would have to get your whole family would go into debt to buy a concrete shack, hopefully that exists in the middle of bumfuck who knows where, right? That probably doesn't exist, or a high rise, and then for you to even get married.
Well, see, what they do with all of this stuff, all of this leverage, all this borrowing, all this lending. For instance, in the U.S.,
100-year lease.
What brought the U.S. Mortgage industry to its knees back in 2007, 2008, when the housing crash came, was the liar loans. It was the over leveraging.
The ninja loans, right?
Well, what they were doing was, and I remember I'm working at work and there's one of the gals at work and her and her husband, they bought their first house. Now, I paid, I think for now this is California, this is way back a long time ago. I bought my first house for like $210,000, $215,000, something like that.
Yeah.
And
what year? 2004?
It was before that.
2002.
Before that.
Oh, damn it!
I'm old, dude.
Yeah, you had a decent interest rate on there, but the price was low.
But the price was low. Interest rate was a little bit more.
7%. I'm probably guessing. Yeah.
But at that time, it was you saved up the money for the down payment. Mm-hmm. You had to have that 20%.
So no PMI.
Because you're a new guy. You got a job and everything, you're good, you got good credit, but what we're going to do is we're going to put mortgage insurance on it, meaning that you're going to have to pay this thing called PMI, mortgage insurance. It was all very protected, very, it was solid. It was a solid deal.
There was a path
There was a path to winning for somebody like me. Now advance into 2005, 6 when they started all this other crap.
Yeah.
This gal said, yeah, me and my husband, we just bought our first condo.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, right on. What do you guys pay for it? You don't mind me asking. The prices are going crazy. $550 for this little condo. And this is in 2015, 5, 6, something like that.
Top of the market, yeah.
And I just, a few years before that, I'm bought a single family home with a yard and all that in a nice neighborhood, for a couple $100,000. And I was like, how in the hell are these people affording this?
Yeah.
How did she, I had to jump through hoops and put everything on the line to get that real solid interest rate fixed on $210,000. How were they doing that? And then I found out what the answer was, and I was interested because I wanted to know what was going on. And they said, oh well, they pumped the price of the house up, and so the bank gets that. The
PMI?
No, not the PMI. Brain fart. But anyway, so they're getting the value of the home, right? They find the value of the home, and they said, "Oh, we're going to
appraisal."
Well, the appraisal. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we'll appraise it high.
I had no idea which way you were going with that.
Stupid little words like. That's why I say I don't have much space left. They float around until they land on a brain cell. So the appraisal comes through, and they were pumping the appraisals up.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing they started doing. We got to raise the appraisals so that the banks will loan them the money. And then the bank said, hey, well, here's what we're going to do. On top of you guys pumping the appraisal, we're going to let them go on stated income, meaning
whatever they say.
You just tell me that you make enough money to pay for a $500,000 home, even though I know you're like this guy here who can only afford a $200,000 home. I'm going to let you just say you can.
Wow.
And then on top of that, we are going to adjust your interest rate. So it's going to start out here, and then it's going to go up. But what you can do is you could refinance it a little later at a fixed rate. Well, those people never could. And by the time the housing crash happened, they were so over leveraged with their interest rate rise.
Yeah.
They were so over leveraged in the home that they bought because now, when the crash came, the value of the house went down. So people just walked away.
Yeah.
They literally just walked away. Like my whole neighborhood.
Because they had nothing in it.
My whole neighborhood. On top of that, they allowed people to do that and get second mortgages on their homes. So stated income second mortgages on their homes with adjustable interest rates.
So how do you get a second mortgage? I'm trying to ask for the.
I'm taking money out of my house.
So okay. So let's just say I bought in 2004. It goes up in 2006. I just take another mortgage out and just get the.
You remortgage it.
Yeah.
So you get that second.
So restart it. Yeah.
Well. And that's if you roll the other one into it.
Right.
But if you don't, then you have two mortgages. You have the loan you took. Now here's what a lot of my neighbors did. And a lot of them were young folks. Now I was out there busting my hump. Mm-hmm. Had a business on the side. Wife was at home raising the kids in California. So it was, real hard to keep her at home, instead of auctioning her off to the highest bidder, right? So I was able to create that. However, I didn't see the value in, like my neighbor said, hey man, did you see my new bikes and my new trailer for going to the desert and my new pickup truck? Mm-hmm. And I was still driving my old beat up, Toyota pickup truck and paying my mortgage. And they came to me, they were at my door every day, bro. They were at my door every day. Hey, well, you can get another $500,000 out of your house, because my house went. The first time I moved, I upgraded my house. The last house was like $330, I think.
You know how, and I know what you're talking about because I read it. I remember reading about this and stuff. This is how predatory these banks are. Piece of shit banks.
Yep.
HBC was one of the big ones.
They didn't care, bro. They didn't care.
You want to know how much they didn't care? Now this came out. This bank ended up having to pay some serious money back because they were doing this. They were single. So they were like. So they were targeting elderly black people.
Yeah.
Elderly black people. Bro, dude, I'm sorry.
Because they knew they were going to loan them the money. They were going to default on the loan. Mm-hmm. They were going to get the house back anyway.
Yep.
So they ended up getting bailed out by us taxpayers because the banks were all insolvent at that point. And we said, oh no, we can't let that happen. We can't let the banks. So what did the government do? Gave them $7 trillion. And said, here, banks, on top of that, keep those houses that you took from all those people because you guys set them up in those loans. Yeah. Now, again, in the libertarian mindset, we go, hey, those people made their own mistake.
Right.
They did it. They over-leveraged themselves and they couldn't afford it, and there was a crash. But they sold them the dream of a home, and they sold a lot of people in like you said, in the inner cities, people to get out of the inner cities and get into, suburbia and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that it's not all their fault, but they knew what they were doing. It was predatory.
You know how predatory it was, though? Like, I got to keep saying HBC because this shit is crazy what they were doing. They got in big trouble for this. They were calling, oh my God. All right. Not me saying this, HBC, okay? That bank. They were saying they were going after basically elderly black people who, and they made sure to see that they were by themselves at the home. That was the big one. They went out.
Oh, dude,
they were going after. They were saying, he's like, I love these freaking. Oh my God, I'm about to say. They were saying, HBC was saying, I love these freaking mud people. They'll sign on the dotted line, whatever. You just keep talking to them enough time, you'll get them to sign on anything.
Yeah. Well, of course, because they sold them the dream. Like, hey, you need money for your kids need money because all the
that
kids.
Shit made me so mad, dude. And they went after those people, but they loved people when they actually had their home was almost paid off.
Oh yeah, they almost there.
They were so predatory.
And they were losing it, and they were losing their house.
Predatory. It's like unhuman level shit. I cannot believe people would do this. Person is like 2-3 years away from paying their house, and you fucking just steal it.
And you know what it was? There was a lot of young alpha males out there in the real estate market, in the mortgage business
industry,
out there making bank, bro, selling those loans because they were crushing it. They were crushing it when they changed the rules and these guys were crushing. They're all running around in Ferraris and everything else. I saw it. It was my whole neighborhood was the epitome of that. I'm in Southern California, and these people were all entrepreneurial types. But what happened was so sad, man, and the human experience of this, I'll never forget. So my neighborhood is going dry, like sign. One of the houses, the guy was so mad about what happened, he tore all of the pipes out of the freaking house, all of the appliances, everything. He said, you want this house back? You're going to get it back, but guess what? I'm taking everything. He pulled a truck up to it and gutted the place and took it with him and went and built a house in some other state or whatever. But that's the kind of stuff that was going on. So my neighborhood's empty. My son, who's, he's now a grown man.
Yeah.
At the time he was about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
And he had his little buddy that lived 2 doors down. And every day he's over there playing, back and forth, riding their bikes in the yard and stuff. And one day I come home, and dude, this is freaking breaks me down every time I think about this moment. I pull up to the house, and I park my car and get out, my lunch bag and everything, and I see my son. And he's 2 doors down. And he's in the driveway, and he's sitting in the driveway of his little buddy's house. And he's just bawling. I'm like, I go out there and I walk over to him. I said, what's up, buddy? And he said, Joshy's gone. And I said, what do you mean? Joshy's gone. And I look at the house, and I notice they moved everything out. They were so embarrassed that they lost their house. They just up and split. And they had
left in the middle of the night.
Left in the middle of the night.
Wow.
They pulled all their stuff out of the house and they left with nobody knowing. And my kid was over to go play with his little buddy, and they lost their house. And my whole neighborhood, that was what was going on, man. And it was heartbreaking to see what's happening. And I got really upset about it too, man. And when the banks got bailed out, I was like, wait a minute, they got the house, they sold the house and got their fees and everything for it, and then they got the property anyway. And then they got to sell the motherfucker again.
Yeah.
And they got our tax money. I go out and bust my ass every day. You guys, wreck my child's life. And you guys are getting stupid wealthy off of it. And on top of getting paid on the scam, you get paid by all of us on the scam that you pulled.
Right.
With that $7 trillion bailout. And I don't see anybody railing about that. Like it got swept under the rug, like nobody.
Yeah.
Too big to fail, and they're still there, and they act like nothing ever happened, and they ruin people's life. We had a neighbor in another neighborhood that he over leveraged.
Yeah.
Lost his home. They found him hanging in his garage. Just hung himself. Couldn't take it. Couldn't take it.
Fuck, man.
Yeah,
it's making me sad because I know exactly what you're
and that's what happened. And I was alive and working and in that when it was going on. Now, I had a bunch of buddies, neighbors that over leveraged and bought motorcycles and boats and all that stuff, and they deserved it. They deserved it, and they lost their homes too, and they had to go reconsolidate and everything. But some people didn't. Some people didn't. Like you said, those people in the inner cities that were being sold, or the 80-year-old lady that had her house paid off already, but her kid said, "Grandma, we need some money, and you've got all this money in this house. You know, why don't you just take the equity out?" And then they lose the family's home that way too. You know, it was a sad time.
I get so mad. Now I understand sometimes they do like this product. I'm not very happy with it, but there's sometimes there's no choice.
Yeah.
There's something called reverse mortgages.
Yeah.
Which I don't do it. but there's literally some old people where they have no family anymore. They don't have there's nothing else.
They don't have family and they didn't have enough savings.
So they have to basically just vampire their house in order for just them to survive. And I know super nice couple. I know, and they're doing that right now, and I'm just but there's no choice. That's it. It's that's it's horrible. But
it's one of those last resort things, you know, and it's sad, but it goes on. But the predatory part of it is the part that needs to have the light shined on it.
Can I ask you something about the libertarian thing right now? Because it is this whole thing of pull yourself out of the bootstraps. It's the classic Reagan 80s sort of thing. Now I know that's not the whole, because libertarians more like no government at all. But,
I'm telling you, Reagan era conservatism was way different than what's going on today, and it was way different than libertarianism. But I think most people think of libertarianism as anarchist. You know what I mean? Of fuck no government, no rules. No. And that's why they've never taken that's why they've never won.
Right.
That's why they've never taken hold. That's why it's always been an individual sport. It's not the team sport of this country here. I can't speak for other countries. I don't know how they operate and function and whatnot. But this country here can't embrace it because it's not a mass opinion.
Right.
You know, and no matter how you slice it, and this is a very unpopular opinion in this space, you need a government.
Yeah.
And I don't want to not have a government. I mean, I was a Marine, by God.
Yeah.
You know, I stood in front of the flag and made that oath and put my hand up and said, I'll stand in front of the bullets for all the people of this country.
Right.
And when you take that oath, when you do that, and when you go and be a Marine and do that in the field, it makes you accountable to that system.
Right.
And you see the goods in it. And let's just take something like, for instance, I see people wanting to get rid of the FDA.
Yeah.
The FDA is bullshit. It's a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
It does nothing. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Back in the day, people died from eating a hamburger. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, people died from eating bacon in the morning for fucking breakfast.
Right.
It happened. We forget about all that shit. So guess what we did as a government, as a country? When people really fucking cared about each other, we voted to go, hey, we need something to protect us from bad meat, from bad businessmen that don't care about us. Because guess what? We see it in crypto. There's bad fucking businessmen that don't give a fuck. They need to be held to account. So that's what the FDA started as. Yeah. And it saved a lot of lives.
I forget there was a famous book called, I think, The Animal. I think it was called The Animal and stuff, that basically showed all the it was supposed to be about the workers getting abused, but people ended up going towards the stories because basically it was about a meat packing plant. Of it was so unsanitary.
Yes.
That people were getting sick from it, and people were getting sick.
People were getting sick working there, let alone eating the food from there.
Eating the food from there, and then I haven't heard the whole FDA. I'm cool with the FDA and stuff like that.
Well, and it's not just the FDA. There are a lot of agencies now. Here's the
Animal
problem.
Farm. Yeah, they're Animal Farm.
Yeah, Animal Farm. Here's the problem. The problem is that human beings are human beings.
Yes.
And human nature is human nature, and greed. And when a bureaucracy is created, you get people come in and they circumvent it.
Right.
And the problem is the moneyed interests come in and say, oh, well, we can use this as a tool. We can start using this as a tool. Now, again, I'm going to talk about this one thing in government that is causing all of our problems.
Okay.
And it's called Citizens United. And Citizens United is the bill that has made money, speech, money, power, corporations, people, and they have the same power as our votes.
Right.
And in fact, they have more power. Because the money, we know now, the way our system is set up, that if you run for an office and you have more money than this opponent, you're going to win.
Yeah.
It's the guy who has the most money, the biggest coffer. That's why they're always out there looking for money, because that's how they win their elections.
Right.
And they're looking for that money to win that election so that they can provide to the people that gave that money to them the laws that they want, the rules that they want, the tax benefits that they want, not the people. Power doesn't belong to the people anymore. And that's what surprises me about this space, is they don't understand that. This space should understand that more than anybody, because we're trying to give the power back to the people through cryptocurrency, give the money back to the people. It's giving them the power.
This is what scares me. I'm with you 100%. We do need regulation. I'm just scared of the people that want to put the regulation in place are the people that scare me.
Exactly. That's the problem. We can't trust them because they are governed by Citizens United.
Right.
When I went to D.C., and we were talking to the lobbyists down there, they wouldn't talk to us.
Right.
They looked at us like we were ghosts.
This is why I want to listen to me. This is why I want to run for government in some position or something, because
we should.
I at some point I'm going to do it, and you're going to do it, and some other, because I want to put laws that are fair. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to look.
But see, the problem is, where's the money going to come from to get you there?
Well, hey, we're in the money printing space,
so it could help, and if we do become very wealthy, and if people with the right mindset do become very wealthy, then we can. But it would be even better if we can get rid of Citizens United. Right. If we can, and that's a constitutional amendment, and I don't know if you know what a constitutional.
What about the Patriot Act too? I would get rid of that shit too.
Well, all 50 states have to ratify it, so it's almost impossible to get a constitutional amendment. It's like that issue has to be so ironclad, solid, and nobody knows about Citizens United. I talk about Citizens United, and people go, "What's that? What's that?" And I'm talking about political people.
No, I've heard people say what's Citizens United? It's like that's a fruit thing, right? They were talking about fucking Chiquita.
But it's just like asking a congressman what's crypto,
right? Huh?
And I had somebody
trying to pass laws about crypto when they don't even know what the fuck
I had somebody say, a senator asked them in a real conference, in a real if I had a bag this big, how many of those crypto coins could I put in it? That was the question to the crypto expert. And that's the mentality of these folks, and we've got to. Can
you say that one more time? Say that one more time. I want to say the bag thing one more time.
Sir, you're a crypto expert. How many of those crypto coins will fit in a bag this big?
Hit a Pepe on that. Jesus Christ.
I haven't eaten all day.
Sheesh. James with the $50 super chat. Man, thanks,
James.
DCC for president, baby. Let's go, man.
You rock, James.
Sheesh. Nellyville23, $20 super chat. I love the passion. Captain RG3. Hope to shake your hand one day.
Oh, you will. Promise you will. I'm out there. I'm doing a tour. And we talked a little bit about it. I'm going to be out there doing the DeFi tour, talking to people about real DeFi, talking to people about these things, talking to people about Citizens United, talking to people about crypto, talking to people about regulation, and how we can try and fix the government, make it better for people, not for corporations and moneyed interests and all that. Because when it comes down to it, human beings, we all want the same thing, man. We all want the same thing.
Right.
That story I told earlier, that
was real shit.
That's real. That's real shit that really happened, and it was the powered interests and the greed and the money and the shucksters out there that created that, and I watched them laugh and buy expensive cars and clothes and all that stuff at what they've done to people, and it's just the humanity of it just blew me away. And so I want to get out there and talk to people about these things, talk to people about responsible crypto, management, and about real DeFi, and about getting rid of the middlemen and taking the power away from the banks and putting it back into the people's hands by using crypto products to do that.
Right.
Because a lot of them don't.
No.
A lot of them didn't. And 99% of the crypto out there is garbage.
Yep.
And only a very small amount. So, I want to take it on the road and get in front of people. I mean, that's where I do my best work. I've been a 2D guy doing this with Discourse Syndicate, now you're
going worldwide.
Now, but when I get in a room full of people and they shake my hand or they tell me that I helped change their lives and stuff like, I mean, that's the value right there, bro. Yeah. Like the money coming in from all this is residual. It's the icing on the cake. I made it. I fixed my family situation.
Right.
I did it. But I'm not that selfish. Being a Marine, being the guy that stood on the line and said, hey, I'll take a bullet for even the people I don't like. I'll take a bullet for them. The people that I'm trying to fight against, I'll take a bullet for them so that they have the freedom of this country. So with that in my heart, being that kind of a guy, I want to go out there and help others and get in front of people for real and tell them these stories and talk to them and teach them about DeFi and how to take the power back and how we can all get together and start fighting this stuff for real versus fighting each other.
Right.
We're always fighting each other, and there's all this trolling and memeing and stuff that I didn't understand this stuff in my lifetime. We didn't have that shit. Like, I see some really ridiculous, horrible memes. Like, you said that shit to me in the neighborhood back in the day. We're fucking going, man. we're going. You didn't do that shit to people. And death threats and DMs that come across with some stupid bullshit, man. And it's like these little fucking keyboard warriors sitting in their mama's basement, talking shit online,
right?
And then other people glomming on and believing it, and it's just it's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. There's no substance in it.
What you're doing is like it's like there's this old quote of like, this world stands on the shoulders of men who plant trees that they'll never see the shade of.
There you go. And that's what I want to do. I want to plant a bunch of fucking trees so that one day people have shade to sit under.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. Now, shout out to Belly Brand with the $3.
Brand!
The brand, baby. 369. Hell yeah, RG3 pirate ship, bro. That's what's up, man.
I love that kid.
Eric Illison, man, with the $5 super chat. DCC, I want to hit the like button, but I can't now. Now that you said Hex will dump if we don't hit the like streams, I'm trying to get those cheap Hex bags.
Attaboy.
Zad the Beast, man, with the €5. Hey, bro, what's your opinion on the Near protocol?
On the what?
Near protocol. It's gonna have a run. Basically, it was pumping towards the tail end of the last cycle. So basically, like it started pumping a little bit like February, March of 2022, and then the bull market just ended. So that's what happened. So it's going to have a bull market, but right now there's so much L1s, Pulsechain, and stuff like that. I wouldn't be shocked that it kind of starts really doing stuff like late in 24, middle of 24. So I think it's going to survive.
The chain wars.
The chain wars are coming, you guys. I can just tell you right now, there's like now with OP out here and Optimism and stuff, and then Pulsechain and Phantom and stuff, and like it's going to be tough for some of these other like I think Cosmos and Near are going to have some hell of a time unless they start getting some real adoption. Polkadot's been established for a while now. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the space right now. But there's actually one more super chat I forgot to say earlier. Hex shirt with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you guys. Mad respect. I found you guys, and I was already in Hex, but I learned so much from Richard in this community. Amen.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Now, I want to ask you something. So, just to go back to your tour and stuff. So, you started the tour in I think Louisiana.
Yeah, well, it was Mississippi. It was Sidell, Mississippi.
But it was right on the
border.
Right on the border between. So, how many people were there? Like, how did you get it started?
So I did an event called Limitless.
Okay.
Which was Ken McElroy, who is Robert Kiyosaki's partner.
Yeah.
George Gammon and all them. Jason
Shout out
Hartman.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, Scottsdale. So they invited me to that event. My company MCA, which is Mountain Crypto Advisors, that's
Right.
our trust company that's a family office that helps people onboard, offboard crypto, and build and develop trusts for their longevity and tax mitigate. We were invited there, and I was to speak.
Yeah.
Really cool format. So what they did was they had me speak on crypto only, and then I couldn't talk about Hex or anything specific until they came to my booth. I couldn't talk about MCA, so it was a lot of value in the event because everybody just kind of talked their macroeconomic view on what their subject was, and then all the shilling and everything went on at the booth, at the booths. So it was a very cool.
Room,
I like that. So I want to put that format out there.
Right.
So I'm going to do the same thing and do my crypto, speech and talk about who I am, why I got into crypto, how I got into crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and now the new DeFi system with Hex and Pulse and PulseX, and just lay out the argument for what those things did to pave the way for True DeFi to finally be here.
The evolution,
the path, and what it can mean to you and what it meant to me and that kind of stuff. And then we had 50 people. So anyway, well, I met these folks there at that event. They were real estate investors. Big real estate investors.
I know. Yeah,
they're not just, they don't own.
They're players. Bro.
Yeah, they don't own a few hundred houses. They own like a few hundred complexes.
Yeah, they own fucking blocks in Medellin.
Yeah, billionaires.
Yeah.
And one of them really was interested in Hex, and he befriended me, and his name's Irvin. And Irvin and he said, hey man, look, I got a lot of people asking me questions. I'm really I don't really understand this that much. And I saw an opportunity because I said, well, wow, man, the people that you know are very wealthy.
Right.
And they're business minded. They're finance. They understand finance. They understand at these events, the Robert Kiyosaki events, very libertarian minded, very anti-establishment, finance. So he asked if I'd come out. So he set it all up, and I came out, and there was 50 people there at the event. But when I got there, he said, hey, would you mind talking to a few people at dinner? So I got there, we had dinner, and there was a handful of people there at dinner. And then he said, hey, wake up in the morning, you want to go breakfast with a couple people? So went and had breakfast with a couple people because they couldn't be at the event. Then I had lunch with people that couldn't be at the event. And so we kept having these meetings while I was there. And so I touched about 50 people outside of the event, and then the event had 50 people in it.
Right.
And so we touched about 100 people. We sold about 15 treasures or more. I mean, we were telling everybody how to get in and helping them onboard and stuff. And then we brought some significant value into the Hex ecosystem on that weekend. So I saw the connection with the folks was just so incredible because there were some people there that had known who I was and had listened to me, and I had helped them through my friend before.
Right.
And they were just grateful. They wanted to be there. They wanted to bring people. So just hearing the good stories, even though we're in a bear market, there's still people there appreciative of what's happened. And some have even said, hey man, I got in at 40 cents. And I've been buying ever since.
Sheesh.
Because we listen to you guys. We're all about this, and we understand what you're talking about. We know about 90% dips now, and we're not afraid, and we're still DCAing in. So that was like, yes, they're listening.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, this is awesome. This personal touch thing, this getting in front of people and actually letting them see who you are and what you're doing. Because even the connection you and I are having right now is not the same connection you and I used to have on the 2D when we did our stream together.
Yeah.
There's something important about this, it's that human experience and
in person
human experience, and it's valuable, and this system right now needs something more than anything else, and that's trust. It's lost all of its trust,
right?
And people don't want to get involved in things or in people that they don't trust. There's a really good book out there called The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey.
You have told me about this, but I need to read this.
Everybody in the world needs to read that book because it puts trust, and especially for crypto people, especially for all you crypto people out there, you should be reading that book. And I'm not just, plugging Stephen Covey's book, but it's amazing because it's the mathematics of trust. And this space really could understand that. It tells you how giving and receiving trust is a mutual thing. Like, I can't trust you until I give you that. Yeah. I have to give you it.
You have to give me trust.
I have to say, okay, I'm going to trust this guy. And then you proof yourself. And the things that you do either add or subtract from that.
From that trust, yeah.
Like billion-dollar deals, like he talks about that in this book, are done with
a handshake.
A handshake.
Yeah.
Like billion-dollar deals. Like, I mean, like anything I've done recently is NDA, contract. I'll renegotiate the contract, blah, blah, blah. Lawyers talk, lawyers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if you get into a situation and you know real business people that have done real work, and Stephen Covey talks about some of these meetings that he's had, he sits down with people and they've literally done billion-dollar deals with just a handshake. And that's because of the trust, the mutual trust that those two people have with each other. And that's what the space is lacking. And that's because nobody's come to the plate. Nobody's stuck around. Nobody's shown who they truly, really are. You know, like earlier you called me Roy. That's my name. And, you know, they call me RG3, the Captain RG3. For some reason in this space, we're all so worried about our money. Like the crypto guys are the ones that are going to get snuffed out.
Right.
Not my neighbor who has a freaking $250,000 Bentley in his garage.
Right.
You know, that he lives on a regular street with, you know, just opens his garage and, you know, no, forget those guys that have all been around for thousands of years, you know, rich people. But for some reason, the crypto guys are all so worried we can't even express our identity, you know. That's just weird to me. But it's all about the trust, man. We've got to bring trust into this space, and people need to know what it is. And that book explains it very, very well.
Can you say the title one more time?
The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey.
Go listen to that book.
Definitely. And so there's two books that I'd like to tell everybody.
Please do.
So the first book, very old, very ancient, very simple. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Dale Carnegie.
Yes. Yeah. The number one book you should read. And then read The Speed of Trust. And that takes care of most of your shit.
Yeah.
That will take care of most of your shit. And then be a good human being, have some integrity, and go do good shit. Yeah. Treat people right. You know, that kind of stuff. That's the stuff we need to be talking about. Versus memeing each other and fucking trolling each other all the time.
Oh, no, I'm defending the memes, but go ahead. I'm defending the memes a little bit here.
They're funny. I gotta admit, they're funny. Like the ones of me, dude. Oh my God.
Shout out Hexo.
Hexo.
Jesus Christ, Hexo.
Yeah. So we had the first Hex meetup ever.
The historic meeting.
The historic first Hex ever. It was you, myself, Brissology, Yashdeep.
Yeah.
And who was the other one that was there?
Briss.
No, I said Briss. Oh, you said I missed somebody though.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
You, me, Yashdeep, Briss, and there was one other person there. Vince.
Vince. Yeah.
Underneath that big tree.
Big tree, the oak tree and stuff in that park and stuff.
We were talking, So we took a picture. I leaned into the picture, and of course, DC's like a, what, are you 6?
Yeah, you guys, I'm 6'2", but like, they said I'm some short, like, all you, shame, haram against you guys. You guys all thought I was some 5-foot Mexican. Like, I thought you were 5'2", Miguel. What happened? The camera angle.
Well, I looked really short, so I got memed as being, you know, they chopped my legs off and put my shoes at my knees and did all kinds of cool. They put me in the pocket of Rackham.
Yeah.
They had me with all my floaties on and my rubber ducky and stuff, and it's funny.
No, it really. I think
there is some fun in the memes, but in all seriousness, you know, we can do that and we can have fun. And I'm not saying not to do that stuff, and I'm not saying that somebody doesn't deserve to be trolled every once in a while.
Right.
But where's the other? Where's the praise? Where's the integrity? Where's the trust? Where are you building that? Who are you building that with? Do you just because you're an influencer and your DMs fill up, do you talk to somebody who's in need? Mm. You know, I spent some time with a young man this morning who's having trouble with addiction, and someone sent him my way, and we got a chance to talk.
Addiction.
Wow. Okay. And that's one of my things. You know, I've been clean sober for 28 years myself. Yeah. And so you know, people come to me and ask questions about that. So I did. I let them know what I knew and what I can do to kind of help guide them or whatever. Because that's just, when you're given something, you give it back.
Yeah.
And how many of us are doing that kind of stuff? And are we talking about, is that who we really are? And the meme is just a little bit of side thing of us? Or are we really the meme, the troll, and every once in a while we'll play a human being?
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak to like helping someone with addiction, but I mean, I can tell you this right now. Let me protect the innocent here a little bit. Well, I had a talk with somebody that basically I think was going to kill themselves. Yeah. This was like maybe a month ago. I had to talk them off the ledge.
It's kind of weird how you get into this thing and you don't think that that's like what direction this is going to take. But I mean, even in our first streams, there was another man that came to the community, and he didn't commit suicide because of our streams, because he was hanging out with us, and we've heard that a couple of times, and so the human element is important, and trust is important.
You know what he told me that really made me like really pause for a second was, he said, Miguel, I didn't think you were going to call me. I didn't think I was a real person. I can't believe you take your bro. I'm getting a little emotional here because but he was like, I thought I wasn't a real person, so I never in a million years thought you'd actually call me, Miguel.
It's crazy, huh? And just a DM, just answering somebody, showing some humanity when they need it. It's important. It's part of the human experience. And the 10% of the bullshit that we all harbor inside ourselves, it doesn't mean anything at that point. When you're talking to somebody like you could be a total, this political side of the spectrum, freaking Trump supporter,
Proud Boy.
Proud Boy. And this guy could be the total liberal, tree hugging, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
But at that moment, it doesn't matter, because that's what really matters, is that 90% of humanity that we have. That other stuff, that's 10% of who we are.
Right.
That other bullshit is 10% of who we are. The 90% is the real human experience. The people that care about one another, care about somebody not offing themselves.
Right.
That's all of us. There's maybe one or two maniacal people out of hundreds of thousands of people that think that way.
Yeah.
But the most part of human beings don't want to see somebody blow their brains out in front of them. Don't want to see somebody abuse a child. Don't want to see somebody lose everything they got. Don't want to see somebody suffering. Don't want to see somebody losing their home, or any of that normal human experience stuff. That's what's important. The humanity is what's important. And the other stuff, the red pillars and the 10% of the stuff that we all want to fight about and all this stuff, and it doesn't matter.
The reason I like the cryptocurrency space and all these things is because, look, there are zero-sum games. Mm-hmm. And then there's these zero-sum games are basically like we're all competing. Like the reason the red pill and all this stuff exists and stuff is because there is a competition between male versus male for certain females. Same thing as females on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Versus something like wealth games where if let's just say if we all buy, I think Richard says this all the time. If everyone who has a house in the neighborhood decides to sell their house tomorrow, the houses will be worth like $1,000 bucks. Of course. Right? So the same thing with the cryptos. If everyone believes in a crypto, buys it and stuff, over time the price will just go up. Everyone gets it's a wealth effect. Mm-hmm. You have the wealth effect. And it's much better to play these kind of games like believing in humanity, helping humanity out and stuff. This is all makes everyone else wealthier. Because investing in humanity is important. Like I am not for this whole thing of like having no kids because it hurts the environment. Can you believe it? I saw a post today on Twitter. It was really beautiful. It was a man and a woman who had 10 children. That's a lot, but they had 10 children, had basically one every year for the past 10 years, and people are saying like poor environment. Could you believe that? Poor environment?
Yeah, and that's just a handful of people.
Wait, let me just say one thing. Fuck the environment. I put humans over the environment.
Well, yeah,
drill.
I'm native. I'm native, so I have a different opinion about the environment. But it's about respect for it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you can't hurt humans and try and save the environment. You have to find out how to symbiotically make that work.
Right.
Natives did that for
a long
eternity.
Time. Yeah.
And it was because they had total respect for it.
Right.
They understood what it meant to them. They understood that, the dirt that they walked on, they didn't spit on it. People don't understand. Like natives, we don't spit on the ground just because we have that much respect for it. And it's there to provide you.
Yeah.
And just like all the animals, we're not vegans, we're meat eaters.
Yeah.
But we respected that buffalo so much.
It used every part of it.
We used every part of it.
Yeah.
But we also, when we killed it and ate it, we had ceremony for it.
Right.
We respected it that much. And there's a story, and the story is that human beings, we were put on the earth naked, with nothing.
Birthday suit.
The birthday suit, and vulnerable. Like, there's nothing more vulnerable than a human baby. Right. Everything else can kind of do a lot better than a human baby. You put a human baby, in a hole in some hay, and it's going to die,
right? Whether
it's fed or not or whatever. But a mother mole will, live in mud and cold, and the little babies will survive. But we as humans, the buffalo said, when the human came to Earth, the buffalo said, I'll take care of the human. I'll give it clothes. I'll give it food. I will fertilize the ground that will grow the food that it will eat also. I give my body and everything to it. And the humans knew this story. So that's how much respect they had for the buffalo and the environment. And the same's with the earth and the water and all those things. And now I don't want to get all, woo-woo on it, but there's a story, there's a lesson in there.
Yeah.
There's a lesson in there about proper stewardship of the planet. And I don't say that we need to do stupid things and not provide for human beings and for human beings' advancement and all that kind of stuff. But we have to be a little cognizant of what it's doing.
Right.
And what is it really a benefit, or did we just fill people's pockets, and then those people that have the full pockets push a narrative out there so that we can say, yeah, fuck that, drill. Right. Did they just make us say that for what? Isn't there's enough of everything out there for us to not have to do all of that.
So I'm just wondering why they have this narrative about not having kids anymore and doing this.
But you say they, and you say they, and I'm just going to push back a little bit on it.
Please.
Because, it's a certain sect of people that are saying these kinds of things. And there's a certain sect of people that are on the other side of it saying them.
The technocrats, basically.
Yeah, and it's, the fact that having more children is going to wreck the environment, of course it has some impact on it. But does it mean anything to human beings? No, it doesn't. Population has never meant, overpopulation has never happened. Have you ever flew over the United States? Come on, we all have.
It's empty.
It's empty.
Fuck.
It's empty. It's empty. There's nothing out there. There's plenty of room. There's plenty. The world is so abundant that everybody could live like kings. Right. But we don't allow that. Human beings like to pull each other down like the crabs in the bucket.
Yeah.
And then when other people are always trying to one up themselves or trying to help themselves out of that situation or whatever, we have all these others trying to push it down because they don't want them to have it. For instance, like the immigration thing. People don't want people in this country that are seeking asylum from countries, 3 countries away that they walked from to get their families out of it because maybe some of their children were killed by the authorities or the cartels or whatever. So they march and they walk through country after country after country. And then they get to our border and they ask for asylum. That's what America is.
Yeah.
It's asylum country. That's what we always were. If you don't fucking think so, take that fucking statue down right now. That bitch has got that torch up there. Take her fucking ass down now.
She's French anyway.
Yeah, take her fucking down because we aren't that anymore. We aren't. If you're going to rail against somebody trying to better their lives, trying to make their family survive in the most abundant country in the world where billionaires live and all of us live like the fucking homeless people have cell phones. And you think we don't have enough? And those people proved themselves worthy of being an American. Because that's what American is. See, I'm the real American because I'm a Native American. You are too. You've got Native blood in you. But everybody else was just planted here.
Right.
Everybody else had the opportunity to come here and reap from this abundance.
Right.
And for anybody to stop others from doing so, I think is wrong. I think that you've got a problem. You've got a serious, serious problem if you think that that lady who carried her 2 or 3 children from fucking Guatemala all the way up here, El Salvador, to seek asylum. Asylum. I'm not talking about a Mexican cartel member, which that is not the majority of people that come over our border are not Mexican cartel members.
Preach.
They're not. That happens rarely. But the people trying to seek asylum, that happens a lot. There's a lot of people trying to better their lives and come here. And what are they going to do? They're going to clean your fucking hotel room.
Yeah.
They're going to mow your lawn. They're going to pick your fucking vegetables. They're going to cook your food, your sushi. There's Mexican guys.
They're going to take our jobs, bro.
and that's what I don't understand is like, we'll rail against things like that, but we won't rail against Citizens United.
It is fucking scapegoatism. That's what it is. It is literally breads and circus.
Yeah.
That's all it really is, dudes.
And we won't talk about, the banks that got $7 trillion. $7 trillion, and you're worried about a mom and her 2 kids getting a handout, come over the border, let's feed you, let's put you away, and then let's give you a chance to start here. And, and...
I mean, tell me what would you rather have, right? Some hardworking immigrants or some fucking homeless?
No.
Like, I mean, like, I go to these. I mean, I've been like, I've recently.
And then there's an argument for the homeless
and
too.
there is a ton, and like that's the humanity side we were talking about.
Exactly,
earlier.
and that's what I like to err on the side of caution of humanity,
right?
Of being a human being and seeing the human experience. Because I've been on the streets, I've lived on the streets, I've been homeless a couple of times in my life, and I know what that's all about. And I know what eating ketchup packets is for fucking dinner is all about.
Yeah.
And if you haven't experienced that and you could sit back on your fucking high horse and talk shit about those people, and you need to go out and experience it. And whatever situation got you into that or whatever you did to yourself, look, we all make mistakes. Some people make bigger mistakes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're less human.
Right.
Some of us have gotten away with big mistakes. And does that make you a better person because you got away with it?
No.
No, but you want to hold somebody else down for making a mistake? I don't think so. That's not humanity. That's not a human experience.
And I'm glad to say I was only homeless once.
Hey, man.
Just once, though. But I mean, hey, it's a learning experience for sure. I mean, it really teaches you to. It has taught me to just be hungry and go for it. It really has.
To live on the streets, of LA and be hungry and tired and scared.
Yeah.
And scared of what could happen to you, because it's predatory out there. And when you're living on the streets, you've got to watch your every move. You got to watch everything that's going on. You got to know. It's like, what am I going to do this afternoon to find something to eat? What am I going to do tonight to find somewhere to sleep? What am I going to do in the morning to get out of the dew? What am I, where's a soft place for me to lay down? All that kind of stuff. I mean, the simple things that regular human beings don't think about, those people go through every day. And if you can't have some humanity for those folks, you need to do some soul searching. People need to, think about it and go, what if I was in that situation, or my mother or my brother or my daughter, or, how would I react then?
Right.
I bet it's a different experience than the people that are out there fucking sucker punching those guys.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Anyway, I can talk about that stuff
for views
all night long,
for fucking views and shit. But hey, man, CN with the $100. I think it's $100 Hong Kong dollars, basically.
Hey, what's that?
Yeah, Zen ZX1 is going to be an excellent layer 1. I hope it is. I do hope it is.
Back to crypto.
Back to crypto, you guys. Fuck humanity. But back to crypto. But what's called now, X1 is going to be the layer 1 solution for the Zen community. Hey, at the end of the day, I really do hope it does well. But until it exists, I don't care. I mean, it just is. Remember when I said earlier, I said like I did something that was a detriment to my channel for a while.
Yeah.
Like what I did is there's a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of Hex YouTube channels that are doing all this fucking moon math on Pulsechain, and I was being kind of funny. In the
Hopium, they're Hopium dealers.
Bro, I'm the main. I sell Hopium uncut. uncut. I'm talking about the 100%.
Oh.
I'm talking about the good shit. I sell it.
Bubble gum.
Hey, that zebra gum, baby. That 2 second. But I've said, like, I refuse to do moon math on Pulsechain and all this stuff until it's actually out. Once it's real live, I can see the dynamics and stuff. I'll then be able to like give I think a good forecast. I believe a good forecast. But there's a lot of channels on here that are taking like the old V2B or whatever numbers and stuff and saying like, look, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, like it's like testnets. The reason the testnet numbers are never real now. Maybe like when the V3, even the V3 numbers are going to be horseshit because they have no financial backing on it. It's not real, so people do stupid things. On them. It's not real.
The one metric I like to look at is the when you look at all the other projects that have preceded Hex, and you see the X's on them. Yeah. I think the lowest amount of X's on a
L1.
An L1 is like 179, 189 X
from all time. Yeah, it's that and then also. I think
and most of them are 1,000, 2,000 X, 800 X, 500 X, whatever. And then I look at that and I go, well, how can I draw a very, very conservative conclusion as to what Hex or I'm sorry, Pulse is going to do? And as I look at it, I think Pulse just rails everything. Like it beats Ethereum, and it beats all the other chains that I've seen. So I call a very conservative 200x on its launch, and that's based on all the other L1s that have done
that have been out here. Yeah,
more than that.
Yeah. No, I think last cycle, pretty much everything did about 40, 100x, 200x. Some did a lot more and stuff. It's all within that range and stuff like that. So definitely, man.
Yeah.
Okay, Hex Monkey with the $20 super chat.
My man.
Wait.
My man.
What? RG3's on tour. Can I be a groupie? Hex Monkey, Jesus Christ!
You're my boy, Hex Monkey.
Yeah, Hex Monkey's a G, bro. I love Hex Monkey.
That's my man right there.
Yeah,
when it comes to humanity,
that's
a hexagon with humanity right there.
I want to shout out one other person, Crypto Vince. Vince is another great
man
guy.
with him.
Another great guy. I have nothing bad to say about Crypto Vince ever.
No, he shows up at everywhere I go in LA, and we have a meetup. Yeah. Vince is there, and he's my boy.
Later on Twitter, I will post the picture, the unedited one.
and that's what I like about those people, because they're real people. Yeah. They really care. They really have a humanity side to them, and they're not just about the money and the memes and the clicks and the this and that. They really, when you meet them, that they're genuine people. And that's what I like. I like real people, man. Right. And so space not full of them.
So thank you so much. So Nellyville 23, baby, $20 super chat. Captain, DCC, RG3 are the true definition of. I can't even read that. What is it? Carnales. Basically, it's like homies, family.
Brothers, family.
Yeah. Joseph Monero, man, $5 super chat. How many tokens should one consolidate down to no matter what in this bear market? Basically, it's what you like and stuff. I mean, I like five to 3 is a decent. It just all depends. If you don't have as much money, right? Usually should be just been 3 tokens.
Yeah.
But if you have a lot more capital and stuff, you could be 5, 10. But don't get I definitely don't get past like 6 until you really know what you're doing, because if it's just too much shit, it's just too much stuff. And there's a reason that I have the Thanos gauntlet in here, right? The Thanos gauntlet. There's Hex, P-Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX, the incentive token. There's a lot, and then the MetaMask token feature. So there's 6 stones, and there's going to be 6 stones in the I always call it Richard Hart Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
So there's those tokens, but Ethereum,
I'll tell you what else I'm really excited about, and I'm starting to get involved in them. There's a lot of products that I'm taking a really, really close look at that are part of the Hex ecosystem.
Right.
That before I said nothing about them. I wouldn't talk about them. Some would even say that I may have said things, derogatory towards them, being a Hex maxi,
right?
But I'm really taking a solid look at these things. Hedron was the first one that I really thought was just a phenomenal product.
Yeah.
Shout out. And it's not about the coin itself. It's about the concept that he proofed.
Right.
He proofed that a T-share can be turned into a valuable generator for wrapping your crypto around. So he's the one that coined that and did a really good job on it. So my hat was off to the Hexicans for starting to do things, because they are. And there's Power City that's doing really good work. There's Liquid Loans has done really good work. Now, a lot of their products are products that fit the market and replace outside products. But some would say that some of these things can be leveraged, and you're going to end up having some problems with that. But they're solid products, and they're necessary in an ecosystem like this. So the Hexicans out there,
and will come if you. I had this discussion with Buck very recently. I think I had the guys from Fiat, Fiat and Famous,
another
and stuff.
one.
And no matter what, like, we're now that you're going to have leverage come into the system, especially if it's a free system, libertarian system, you can come and do what you want. You're going to have some people come into the system with. So if you're going to have this sort of casino,
ill intentions, you're going to have ill intentions.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but like, if people are going to come with ill intentions, you're better off with it being kind of homegrown people.
Yeah.
Like if someone from the tribe, then outside the tribe.
Yeah,
that can do horrible things.
And we've seen some of them already come and go.
Yeah.
And come in and try and steal value and leave, or wreck people with what they've got. So I've been very cautious about that.
Yeah.
But I know as this next iteration comes, PulseX and Hex are not the only thing that is going to be valuable in the DeFi system. Some of these other products that have already been developed and are coming are also going to provide value. I mean, we're working on stuff in the background too. Yeah. So I want to, as time goes on, I want to take a closer look at these things. I want to give these things their props. I want to make sure that I'm speaking about them. So I'm going to take, a lot of counsel right now and do a lot of research on a lot of these projects that are going to launch on Pulsechain and start to discuss those too, the ones that proof themselves,
No, definitely, man.
Because they're the ones that are going to, I think, in the next bull run, that's the thing you're going to want to be in. You're going to want to be in the Hex ecosystem and the products around it, and whatever's doing well on Pulsechain, I think that's where you're going to want to be.
And I think, especially, you want to be in projects where they're a benefit to the ecosystem versus
exactly
a drainer and stuff.
Something
like
that's sucking from it. You want something that's going to be an add, a value add. You want something that's a value add that replaces, a traditional financial product and comes into the Hex system and uses Hex and uses Pulse and uses PulseX to create value.
Yeah.
Not to suck from it,
Right.
And that's what I think that's the, the macro look at what people should be looking at is like not number go up or chart, but what does this thing do to provide value to this system, to this ecosystem? And does it add or does it suck?
Right. And a lot of things suck out here.
So the sucking is massive.
So CN with the $20 super chat, Zen's X1 are going to be an excellent layer 1 solution. I hope so, bro. But man, chart looking bad. Herc with the, I think that's a $10 super chat. Miguel, what's a good amount of Hex to have by the end of the bear market? Whatever,
as much as you can get. An ass load. A little more. That's my philosophy. RG, what do you want? A little more. Just a little more. I always want a little more, right? No matter where you go, no matter what you do. Yeah. See that dessert? I want a little bit more of that dessert. What do you want of that? I want a little bit more of that. That's what makes human beings move forward. That's what makes us advance. That's what makes innovation. Is just
that's a difficult question to answer sometimes, because it's like, if I can't give you a number because I don't know what your portfolio is. I don't know what you can, it's a stretch number, whatever. Like, it's either, for most people, it's either going to be 100,000 Hex or it's going to be 500,000 Hex or 1,000,000 Hex. It just,
what do you value yourself at?
Yeah.
Do you want to make $100,000? Do you want to make $1 million? Do you want to make $10 million? $100 million? What is it? What is value to you? And what's really the question that the gentleman should be asking himself is, what's your risk tolerance? What's your portfolio look like now? How much of your assets are you willing to put into crypto? I've always told people with such a volatile asset, I would never put any more than like 10% of my savings into something like this. I always stayed very, very conservative with how I invested. And I think everybody should take heed to that. And especially don't over leverage yourself, and don't put that rent money in there thinking that it's coming back next week or next month.
We're all Pulsechain next week, bro.
You know, dollar cost yourself in, figure out what your risk tolerance is. Your age is a big deal. Yeah. You know, somebody who's in their 20s has a lot higher risk tolerance than a guy like me who's in his 55s. You know, so it's a lot of variables.
If you're under 24, ape it in. Ape it, and what you got? Like, bro, all the money that I spent from 18 to 24, who cares?
You blew it on women.
I blew it on bullshit. Yeah,
drinking.
I literally blew it in clubbing, women, World of Warcraft, all the time. It flowed from my hands, but it gave me experience and stuff like that. Like,
and you got to do that. You got to go cut your teeth.
Yeah, you got to cut.
You got to get beat up. You got to get punched in the mouth. In the financial world, we all have. I got my ass beat in the financial world, right. You know, and I made some wins, but I learned along the way.
Now Herc had another super chat right below it. It's same amount. Men suffer in silence. There's a lot of people out here that over leverage them, like you were saying. Now some men are pretty squealy, and they're
oh yeah, we got some squealers. That's for damn sure.
But as many squealers you see, you also see a lot of people just silently just. But
suffer,
yeah. Now I know that quote had more to do in the red pill space with like men suffer in silence with bad relationships and all. Yeah. But like men suffer no matter what. But
that's what we were built for.
Yeah,
we were built for suffering and providing and killing and hunting and working, and we were built for that.
Being uncomfortable.
Being uncomfortable is what a man is supposed to do. At the Neanderthal level, at the core of who we are as human beings.
Caveman level, yeah.
At the caveman level.
Primal.
At the primal level. There you go. The primal level. You know, those are the things, you know, and the world that we live in today doesn't necessarily mean that. We suffer in different ways.
Yes.
Because of society. But yeah, it's...
So let me finish up the super chat, man. But yeah, men do suffer in silence. It's a fact. But also, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, men suffer in silence.
But anybody who's had a single mother knows that women do the same.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know...
I think humans just suffer.
My mother didn't complain.
Yeah.
You know, she raised her kids.
Right.
You know, and it's not just a statement for one side or the other. Yeah. Because human beings go and do what they have to do.
Right.
You know, some don't, some do. So what?
I think humans in general just make everything a chore no matter what. Like, I've said this before in the past and stuff. I've said this to my cousins and some family members and stuff, where why is your schedule so crazy? Why is it so busy? Why do you put so much, like, you made all this money and stuff, like, why are you doing all this crazy other stuff? Because I told him, I was like, what'll happen is I'll just, like, think of this. Because this has happened to me a couple times in my life and stuff, where I was like, oh, I'm just at the house all day doing nothing. You know, what'll happen is like, I gotta get out of bed right now. Oh, I gotta fucking take a shower. Oh my God, I gotta get dressed right now. Oh my! Like,
but you want to do more.
Yeah, you want to do more.
You want to do more. You want to be more.
Right.
You want to give more. You want to do more. You want to help more.
Right.
And that's who you are. That's what you do. That's why you stream like this. You want to help people.
Right.
You know, I know you've already made your money. You could walk away.
Yeah.
But we do this because we want more. We want to help more. Because the value that I get from meeting people that tell me that I changed their lives is way more than any of the money I have. It's that you cannot buy that.
The humanity again.
You cannot buy that. You cannot buy the appreciation of other people. You cannot buy friends like Balliot Brand and Hex Monkey and those people. You can't buy that. You have to go out and show your humanity, and you've got to go out and give back and receive from people who are respecting what you're doing, you know. And and I learned that in the work world, you know, going out and working and doing a really good job for somebody, and them just, you know, writing an email to your boss saying, man, this guy really, you know, it was the worst, most scary day of my life to have to move my whole shop from this city to this city. And your guy came in here and he took care of me, and he stayed here until midnight. They started at 6 a.m. and they stayed here till midnight and made sure that I was back in production. And I can't put any value, you know, they tipped us real well and said, thank you profusely. And even though I worked all that overtime and got the double time and that was really the value to my family, but something inside of me, every time a customer did that or said something like that about me, and you've had that experience too, there was something that happened inside of you that was like, man, that was valuable to me as a human being. That made me want to go do it more. Because if somebody was saying, fuck that guy, whatever, he came in, I'm glad I got that done. Yeah. You know, if somebody treated you like that, then there's no value in what you did other than the money.
Right.
And then at a certain point, you start getting sick of it. And you start getting tired of being that guy that's just getting shit on all the time by people, and you're doing an extra special good job for them, you know? Right. But there's something about when you do that job, when you go out and you do and you help and you be part of, and somebody comes back at you and appreciates it.
Yeah.
You know, it's that appreciation. And that starts building your character. It starts making you have more integrity, makes you want to work harder, makes you want to be better, makes you want to do more. It makes you want to go to the next customer and see if you can make him that happy, you know? And that's what,
this is why,
that's the value.
This is why I keep doing what I'm doing here right now today, because it's like, I love, outside of like, I mean, obviously in a bear market, you're going to have strife in the bear market.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But like, even in the bear, but I've had, like, for that one call that I've had, like, trying to help somebody out there, I've had so many other people who are like, bro, thank you so much. I've changed my entire fucking life. I've made so much money now. Like, oh man, like, just, obviously it's like, I can't stop work, you know, but I've never had this much money in my life. I mean, just recently when we had this little run up right now, somebody told me, like, this is the first time in my life I made more money sleeping than I did working the whole week.
And you know what's even better?
The first time in my life. Can you believe that? I love that. That shit is what keeps me going. No matter. That's why I'll keep doing what I'm doing for as long as fucking until the wheels fall off.
And you know what's even better than that is that when you've mentored people and you've helped them, and they start helping others.
Yeah.
And they start paying it forward, and they start becoming that person that you've become. That is really, really valuable when you've got people that are duplicating what you've done. Right. It's amazing. And that's why we do the work. And that's why we like doing what we do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I drove all the way out here to Vegas to get on your stream, man.
Can't wait to the Hex World Tour, baby. Yeah, man. I can't wait to have the website and everything.
Well, it's gonna be the U.S. tour.
U.S. tour.
I'm not gonna go around
That's
the world.
That's the rest of the world. The rest of the world doesn't matter. The U.S. matters. No.
I want to keep it. Well, I got to keep it to where my family is. You know, I can only be gone for one
so much time. Yeah,
much time a month. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do one event a month, and we're gonna take it around the country.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, it's gonna be.
I'll see if I can try to go to one of those.
Yeah. And any other Hexicans out there that want to get involved, want to be part of it, you know, reach out to us, DM myself or SJ, Wild SJ, or Bullish. You reach out to us. We're working on putting it together right now. We're going to be looking for venues. We're looking for Hexicans that want to help support the venue itself. Yeah. So yeah, we're not looking for anybody's money. Don't worry about that. That's the one thing in this space. Anybody starts asking for money, they start freaking out. But we're just looking for your participation. We're looking for your help. Looking for venues. Whoever can put the most butts in the most seats, that's what we want. Yeah. We're gonna get people in front of of this message, of the message of DeFi, real DeFi.
And shout out to Jamie for the $50 super chat. Shout out to the Buffalo. Thanks again for dropping all the wisdom, RG3. Shout out to the Buffalo, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Buffalo for providing for us little weak human beings.
Yeah. Was it Buffalo Soldier?
Dreadlock Rasta.
Yeah. And shout out to Herc for the super chat, man. What about Biden raising the long-term capital gains to, like, it ain't going to happen. We talked about, go back to the beginning of the stream, you guys, rewatch the stream, but, like, we talked about this.
We talked about it. We got to watch it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. It's just too much.
More than likely, they're gonna probably just increase it by like 2% or like 5% probably.
It might get a bump.
I hope not.
I forget what it was the last time we were looking at that situation, and it didn't happen.
It's I mean, right now I think it's 15% long term, and then if you make a certain threshold, it's like 20. Yeah. If it's a very large amount of money. I think it's like $1 million or $2 million or some shit like that. But hey, with that, man, where can people follow you, RG3?
So you can follow me on my Instagram, which is RG3 Hexican. You can get me on Twitter, RG3_pirate. Yep. And then always on Discourse Syndicate, which is our YouTube channel. We have multiple Hex streamers on there. I do a show called Chatting with the Captain on Monday nights. Mm-hmm. I do a show on Wednesday nights, which I just did earlier. I was on there for a little bit with Famous. He's a Hexican, real smart young man. We do a show together on Wednesdays. And then on Fridays, it's the F and Hangout. That's the traditional Hexagon community stream. What we do is something different than anybody else in the whole crypto space or in YouTube space period does. We open up the stream. I literally put the stream link out for anybody to join. Anybody, if you want to come, debate us, FUD us, meme us, be part of it. Just keep your clothes on. And you can come onto the show and talk with us. And it's called Discourse Syndicate for a reason.
Yeah.
I wanted to open up dialogue with anybody. Anybody interested in the crypto space, not interested in the crypto space, that just wanted to talk with us. And, we don't put up any bullshit. If somebody just comes in to just straight up troll, you're gone. But if you've got a legitimate argument, you got something you want to talk about, then yeah, you can come to Discourse Syndicate and get on the F and Hangout, and that's the Hex stream.
Trust me, man, a lot of A-list future A-listers came from that stream.
yeah. I mean, most of the Hex streamers came from Discourse Syndicate.
Yeah.
They've either all been on it or they came from it.
Yeah.
And a lot of good and a lot better streamers than myself, I should say, have come from that stream.
Well, that's awesome, dude. And hey, you guys can catch me here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be interviewing Black Ice. We got some interesting little stuff that's going on, as well as I got a lot of streams and interviews this week, but I'll keep it on the down low for now. So,
all right,
hey, brother. Love it, man. Thank you so much, man. And we're out.